friends, family, strangers. Hello. Welcome to Nelly Niche, the brand new channel where I talk about stuff and also things. If you're listening to this, you saw the title of the video. You know what we're doing here. This video is part 1 of a deep dive series explaining the plot of Naruto. I first started watching Naruto earlier this year because it was my partner's favorite TV show growing up. So in the beginning, I didn't really care. I didn't think that it would really be for me, but I was watching it because it was important to him. But very quickly into watching it, I realized, this shit is my shit. I love Naruto. And so I find myself here. When Naruto first aired in October of 2002, I was 2 months old, which, if you're doing your math correctly, yes, I am an August Leo. It was just my birthday. Everyone wished me happy birthday. Thank you. And the manga that the show is based on ran from 1999 to 2014. So the story of Naruto is older than I am. And you know what else is older than I am is the majority of the fan base. Now, there's obviously lots of people my age, people younger, people a lot older, but in general, people have been watching this show as long as I've been alive, and they've been enjoying the story for even longer. You might be asking yourself, as a newcomer to this story, do I have the right to be talking about it like this, to be diving really deep into it when I've only been enjoying the show for a few months? I started watching it earlier this year. And the answer to that question is yes. I have every right. Because I love Naruto. It has become so much of my personality. My friends have been hearing about nothing but Naruto and about how much I wanted to make this video for so long. I graduated from college, and this is what I am doing with my summer, basically, post-graduation. I love Naruto. I do. It's really been important to me, especially at this new phase of my life. And you know what else I love is deep dive videos like this one. So people like Mike's Mike, Jenny Nicholson, Ashley Norton, Carrie Can Read, they have all made a lot of long form content over the past few years, months, and they're just a big inspiration to me. So people like that really set the precedent, and I am so grateful to them for their content, for them inspiring me to do something crazy like this. They set the precedent, and I am merely falling in line, and I think filling a little bit of a gap in the deep dive, long form TV show content. So the original Naruto show that started in 2002 ran for 220 episodes, and then the follow-up show, Naruto Shippuden, ran for a whopping 500 episodes. So that is a lot of content to get through. Today, I will just be covering the first 19 episodes of the show. Originally, I planned for this video to be a lot longer, to cover the first 80 episodes, but I got a little bit burned out with the script writing, but I also got so excited to start the filming and the editing, and to get this out to people as soon as possible, because I'm really excited about it. I think the videos will likely get a lot longer as we begin to cover more content, but for now we're doing the first arc. So we have the introductory episodes and then the first complete arc of the show in this video. If all goes according to plan, I want to continue this video series covering all of Naruto and then all of Shippuden. But right now I'm just kind of testing the waters, figuring out what I am capable of, because I've never done this before. Can you tell? I'm a little nervous. I've got one more disclaimer before we get started, which I'm just going to read off my iPad because I want to put it exactly in the words I was thinking when I addressed it in my notes. So Naruto is an anime, right? We're all on the same page. We can tell. So it was originally written in Japanese, obviously, makes sense. So as a person who does not speak Japanese, I had two options in how to enjoy the show. That would be either the dub with English voice actors or the original Japanese version with English subtitles. The English subtitles and the English dialogue are translated slightly differently, mostly for just the flow. But when I watched the first 220 episodes, we watched the dub, so that's with the English voice acting, and I mean, they did an incredible job, but with the translated subtitles, so they didn't line up exactly with what the voice actors were saying, but we're getting those two different kind of translation perspectives of the story. When I quote direct dialogue from the show, sometimes that will be the English dub and sometimes that will be from the subtitles. And how I made that decision in writing is basically, number one, I wanted to factor in what I think sort of stays true to the message that they're trying to get across. Obviously, I don't speak Japanese, so I don't know 100% what the creators intended, but I can kind of get the vibe based off of what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, and also in the overall context of the story. But the second factor, which probably came into play more often, is which is funnier. So keep that in mind when I'm giving direct quotes. They could be coming from the dub translation or the sub translation. Both are considered valid enough to be on, Netflix, Hulu, Cartoon Network, or wherever it originally aired. But keep that in mind. If something doesn't sound quite right, it's probably from the other version that you maybe didn't enjoy. With all that out of the way, let's dive in deep, because we have a lot of content to cover just in this video, and then a lot more videos to write and make. So let's get into it. So episode 1 of Naruto starts with a flashback to 12 years before the events of the main show, where the 9-tailed fox demon is attacking the Hidden Leaf Village, which is where most of these characters live. So the fox is attacking the village, and this is all given to us through narration over sort of vague images. And the 4th Hokage, which a Hokage is basically the mayor of the village, they're the top dog in charge. The 4th Hokage, who was in power at the time, sealed the fox demon into a baby. Now this baby looks pretty familiar, pretty iconic. Yes, that baby was Naruto Uzumaki. So, from the get-go, we know that our main character has a literal demon sealed inside of him. So anyway, the 4th Hokage did this, sealed the fox demon inside of Naruto, saving the village, which a lot of people died. There was a lot of destruction. This guy's bad news. 9 tails. Vicious. Also, I think like fire powers. But in the process, the 4th Hokage died. So rest in peace. Very sad. You don't get to see what he looks like yet. I do have a picture up here. I hope I didn't just reveal it with my chopstick. You're not going to get to see this picture of him that I have until I don't know, episode 60 or something like that. So, because when you do, you're going to be making connections, and just wait, be patient. We're still in episode 1. We know of him as a concept, we don't know what he looks like, and that's fine. Now, we jump to the present timeline, where Mr. Naruto Uzumaki, all grown up, is doing a little bit of property damage for fun. In the village, they have what is basically like Mount Rushmore. It's a big mountain face on which the faces of the 4 Hokage that we've had so far are carved into the facade, and Naruto has graffitied it. So his present introduction is him running through the village, evading a few ninjas who are trying to catch him to punish him for defacing an important monument. which is fair. But he escapes, but is then found by Iruka sensei. Iruka is Naruto's teacher at ninja school. So Naruto is currently enrolled in ninja school, but he is not going to class because he's defacing the stone monuments, as you do, defacing Mount Rushmore. And Iruka is not that mad that Naruto defaced the monument. He's more mad that Naruto is skipping class, which is very funny. Not only is he mad that he's skipping class, but Naruto is skipping class the day before the graduation exam, which is a big deal. So if he graduates from the academy, he has basically passed the first big test on his journey to become a ninja. And Naruto's skipping class the day before, so that's not good. Is it worse than defacing Mount Rushmore? I don't know. But so when they get back, Iruka makes the whole class do a transformation jutsu. And jutsu is basically like the skill set that ninjas have that allows them to do all of their cool shit. So jutsu it's like a little bit magic, it's a little bit sports, a little bit physicality. So we'll get into that more in a few episodes, what exactly that means. But so he makes them all do a magic spell to transform into him. And so during this, we get to see a few of Naruto's classmates. I'm not going to name them all right now because a lot of them aren't even going to come in this arc, in this video. But you'll meet all the rest of them in the next video. But so anyway, we do get to see Sakura and Sasuke. And they are going to be important. And so this is our first little introduction to them. They both do it perfectly, like they're fine. Then it's Naruto's turn. And he does not transform into Iruka. Instead, he transforms into a nude female version of himself, tastefully like covered up in little mystical clouds, which he calls his sexy jutsu. But then Iruka gets mad. That's not, Naruto's a goofball. He's a clown. But he needs to be going to school and learning other things than his homemade sexy jutsu. Unprofessional. 12-year-old, right? We expect better. So after class lets out, Iruka makes Naruto clean the graffiti off of the stone faces. And they basically have a conversation where Iruka says, "You can't go home until you clean them all off." And Naruto says, "Fine, it's not like I have anybody at home waiting for me," which is really sad. So we learn that Naruto is an orphan, is living by himself at 12 years old. No wonder he has some issues. Iruka feels bad about this. He didn't like how that conversation went. So he takes Naruto out to eat ramen, which is really sweet. And while they're there, they have a conversation where Naruto basically explains why he did the graffiti. And his reasoning is that the Hokage are the greatest ninja in the village, in their whole history. They are the most important, most powerful, most respected. And Naruto is going to be better than all of them because he wants to be respected. He wants to become Hokage so that people will stop disrespecting him, which we're going to get more into, but is a big problem because some people know about the fox and they don't like the fox, so they don't like the sweet young boy. So Naruto feels very alone, feels very disrespected by the village. And so immediately we're seeing that his biggest goal is to have respect, to be powerful, to become Hokage. After this, Naruto asks if he can wear Iruka's ninja headband, which is what you get when you graduate from the academy. So this picture isn't accurate to this episode. In this episode, Naruto is wearing cute little goggles on his forehead. But so he asks Iruka if he can wear Iruka's headband, and Iruka says, "Absolutely not. You have to earn it. You cannot just wear my headband, my forehead protector. What if I get stabbed?" But he says, if you graduate tomorrow, you'll get your own. So he's clearly recognizing that Naruto needs some encouragement. But that's them. Ramen boys, we love it. So now it's the next day. It's time for the test. The graduation test is to do one jutsu, the clone jutsu, which, that's Naruto's worst one. He tells us so. And that is funny. So he tries to do it, fails horribly. He makes just like a little blob on the floor, a little Naruto blob beside him, and he fails. Rest in peace. So sad. So all the other students graduate. They're so excited. They get their headbands, and Naruto is just so sad. And the people administering the test were Iruka and Mizuki, another teacher at ninja school. And so Mizuki says to Iruka, he's already failed like 2 times. Just let him pass, you know? Would it be so bad? And Iruka says, absolutely not. Like, he takes his job seriously. He's a strict teacher, but he's a good teacher. So Naruto's all sad. He's sitting on a swing. The swing is important. The swing is everything because it represents his loneliness. The swing is a character. I should have put the swing on the wall. So nice Mizuki comes up to Naruto on the swing and basically says, Iruka's so hard on you because he wants you to be strong. Iruka, we learn, is also an orphan. And so he's really a kindred spirit to Naruto. They have a lot in common. And so he just wants him to be strong. And that's why he's so hard on him. But then Mizuki says, I have a secret to tell you. Maybe it's a little something that'll help you with your ninja progress, right? And we don't get to see what that is just yet, but we will very soon. We immediately cut to Iruka in his bed, sort of having a nightmare, but also sort of awake, just thinking about his tragic past, which is that his parents died in the Nine Tails attack. So he, especially could have reason to not like Naruto. Not that it's a good reason, but lots of people in the village, at least of the people who know, because not everyone knows that they're combined, that the fox is sealed inside of him. But Iruka lost his parents in that attack, and obviously that is really hard. So he's been an orphan as long as Naruto has been alive. But so when he was growing up, also pulled pranks and did things to get attention because he was so alone, which is these two, dude, love. So while he's laying in bed being sad, Mizuki is knocking on his door, interrupting, and says that Naruto has stolen the very important secret scroll, the sealed secret scroll. So, all the top ninjas in the village gather with the Hokage, who basically just gives them the order of find Naruto. He stole this really important secret thing. If that gets into the wrong hands, it could be devastating because a lot of our village's secrets are inside that scroll. In the meantime, while that's all happening, Naruto's just chilling in the woods. He opens up the scroll and he reads the first jutsu on the list, which is the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And he begins teaching it to himself. But while all of the ninja are out looking for Naruto in the woods, we get to hear Mizuki's internal dialogue and, what? He's evil? No way. He convinced Naruto to steal the scroll so that he could take it for himself and kill Naruto. It's messed up. So he's looking especially hard because he needs to get that scroll, kill that kid, and get out of Dodge. But Iruka finds Naruto first. And so Naruto's talking to him look, I learned a jutsu. I stole the scroll, so you have to pass me. You have to let me graduate. And Iruka's like, what the hell are you talking about, my sweet boy? Who told you that? At which point, Mizuki shows up. Knives blazing. He's thrown a bunch of knives at both of them, but mostly at Naruto. So Iruka pushes Naruto out of the way. He saves him, getting stabbed all sort of in his legs and stuff with just these little knives. So he's okay, but you know. And so this whole time, you'll see this in like every episode. Every ninja battle has to be interrupted with monologues and discussion. So they're all just kind of standing around. But Mizuki is monologuing. It's his turn as the evil villain of the episode. And it is forbidden to tell Naruto that he has this sealed up inside of him. So he doesn't even know at this point. But our Mr. Bad Guy over here tells him, and he's devastated. And then Mizuki says, like, that's why Iruka hates you. That's why everybody hates you. So Naruto's extra sad, and he runs away with the scroll. But he runs away. And then Iruka and Mizuki are fighting. He's like, why would you say that? It's true. And Iruka's like, no, it's not true. Oh. Naruto has not run away yet. So Iruka has gotten stabbed, and then he tells him about the fox. And says, like, this is why Iruka hates you. This is why everybody hates you. And Naruto's still there. And Iruka says, like, no, it's not true. And Mizuki's like, yes, it is true. But then you see this big knife on his back. He goes to throw that at Naruto. Like, that would kill him. It's a huge shuriken. But Iruka, once again, like, jumps in, saves Naruto's life. The shuriken goes, like, into his back. He gets mega stabbed. So, like, he pushed Naruto out of the way, and then he's just, like, leaning over Naruto with a giant knife in his back, being like, you're a good kid. I believe in you. Naruto's like, ah! Why would you do that? He's like, because I care about you, because we're the same. And so he's leaning over him saying, like, we're the same, you and I. We're both orphans. We both grew up so lonely. And I'm sorry I wasn't there for you more. It's like a really good moment. You know, like, he maybe wasn't always there, but he's been there. He's there now, and he's there when it really counts, when he's about to get fucking stabbed. But then Mizuki says some more shit, and Naruto runs away with the scroll, but he's running away. He's not safe here. He's still really, like, emotionally confused about everything. So they're squabbling, but then they both set out to find him. And so while all of this is happening, the third Hokage, which I should have pointed to him earlier, this is the current mayor, the man in charge, is watching it all go down through a crystal ball. And that crystal ball only appears in, like, the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then never again, which is just, like, kind of silly, because some shit's gonna go down later where that might have been helpful, but it's fine. It's the intro arc crystal ball that he has just to snoop on people. Iruka finds Naruto first, but Naruto kicks him. He kicks him away. And so, in being kicked, it's revealed that it was actually Mizuki who disguised himself as Iruka. And Mizuki's like, how did you know? To Naruto. And then Naruto, poofs, and it was Iruka. So they were just having a different fight in a different part of the woods. Naruto was not there. But so, Iruka was Mizuki, Naruto was Iruka, Naruto's somewhere else. So they're still squabbling in a different place now because they just ran into each other in the woods, and Naruto's overhearing them, and he hears Mizuki say a bunch of shit about how he's a monster. Iruka should just let him kill him and also let him take the scroll. Like, you're bad on both fronts here. You're bad to the kid and you're bad for the village. But so Naruto's hearing Iruka say, like, he's not like that. Like, he's a kid. He's a good boy. He didn't ask for this. And so that's really lovely, you know? Like, Naruto is just listening. So he's in the same part of the woods. And so Iruka says, you know, like, Naruto is more than this thing inside of him that he didn't even know about. And Naruto believes him. And so then Naruto comes out and he does the multi-shadow clone jutsu that he just learned from the scroll. And so there's like fucking hundreds, thousands of little Narutos peppered in the woods, and they just clobber Mizuki, right? And so these guys are saved. The day is saved. Obviously, the scroll thing was a misunderstanding, so Naruto's not going to get in trouble. But after that, Iruka gives Naruto his headband. He says, "Congratulations, you passed the graduation exam." And then, to celebrate, he takes him out for ramen. Same day, like 2 days in a row at the very most. But hooray! He takes him out for ramen. Even though he just got like really stabbed in a bunch of places, but especially in his back, it's fine. End of the first episode. Now, we are not going to go into that much detail for every episode, I promise, but it's the pilot. It's important to get, some of these important dynamics established, but mostly like to figure out a little bit more about our boy, and also to see somebody finally start caring about him. Now, on to episode 2. We begin with Naruto taking a photo for his little ninja ID thing, his sheet. He doesn't have an ID card. But he's wearing this like fuck-ass clown makeup, and so the Hokage says like, you have to take it again. And so Naruto does his sexy jutsu, which we remember from the last one, to try and like distract the Hokage, 12-year-old boy. And it works, but then the Hokage recovers from seeing the sexy jutsu and says, you still have to take it again. So while this conversation is going on, where is he? A little boy comes in wearing the most ridiculous outfit. He's not wearing these goggles. Let me tell you, this is a later photo as well. He's wearing like a little helmet, and he's just got like a spike of hair. He looks ridiculous. He's also got a cape, which he does have for a while after this. But he comes in and he's yelling at the Hokage, saying like, I challenge you. I'm going to become the 5th Hokage. And then he trips over his cape and falls on his face and is just like crying. So this is Konohamaru. He's a little fuck-ass kid. My partner hates him. He and Naruto get in a little bit of a tussle, because like he wants to be Hokage, but this boy right here, he really wants to be Hokage. Neither of them are at all qualified or ready for that, but they're both strong personalities, so they tussle. And it's revealed that Konohamaru is the 3rd Hokage's grandson. I don't think it's mentioned in the previous episode that this is the 3rd Hokage. So you'll remember the 4th Hokage was in charge 12 years ago during the war with the fox and sealed the fox and died and all that. So the 3rd Hokage was the Hokage before him, but then took on the mantle again after he died. Because the village was having a really hard time. They needed someone like strong and reliable and da-da-da-da-da. So he's the 3rd Hokage, already served his time, came back, hella old man. This is his grandson, right? Naruto does not care that this is the honorable grandson of the 3rd Hokage. And he just bops him on the head. He goes, boop, which Konohamaru loves so much that he's like, I want you to train me. And first Naruto's like, nah, I don't wanna, you're just a little kid. Like, I'm a real ninja now. I graduated from the academy. But then he starts calling him boss, which I assume it's like senpai, And Naruto's like, okay, I can teach you a thing or two. And so then they're walking through the village, and Naruto is like, let me tell you about Katra. And Konohamaru's like, you mean chakra? And Naruto's like, yeah. Real ninjas call it Katra. But at this point we get a little explanation of chakra from Konohamaru. And chakra basically is the spiritual energy inside of a ninja that allows them to perform all their various jutsus. So it's pretty important. It's going to come up a lot. So we're just establishing this now. Thank you, little boy. You know more than our main character at this point. To all this, Naruto responds that the most important things are, let me check my notes, hard work and guts. Which, okay, yeah. He's got the guts. Not quite on the hard work level yet, but we will get there. Don't you worry. So I haven't mentioned him yet, but Konohamaru has his own little instructor who follows him around named Ibisu. He's just like a square. He's a loser. He's boring. Konohamaru would much rather be taught by this 12-year-old who knows the most important thing. He teaches him the sexy jutsu, which he uses to defeat his boring teacher. So, win for the boys. But then at the end of the episode, they're like, we're just too similar. We're rivals now. Really, this is Konohamaru saying this. He's like, you're my rival. One day I'm going to defeat you. And then he goes off. And that's the end of the episode. Did I miss anything? I missed something important. So the reason they're so similar, kind of, is that Konohamaru hates being called the honorable grandson. He hates that everyone in the village is like scared to be real with him because he's related to the mayor. But Naruto, he loved because Naruto like kept it real. But so they're similar because they both just want respect for themselves and their accomplishments. And that is important. And I'm sorry, I tried to jump over it. Also, at the end of the episode, Iruka takes Naruto out for ramen for a third time. So that's what they do. That's kind of how they relate to each other, is over a nice bowl of ramen, which Naruto loves ramen. So this is great. But sort of what we learn in this episode is that, you know, still there's really nobody in the village respects Naruto. None of the kids his age really know about the fox, but their parents who are alive, like, a lot of them do. And so their fear and hatred makes their kids feel the same way, you know, even if they don't, like, can't say it's because he has a demon inside of him. But Naruto is slowly collecting people who believe in him. So Iruka was first, and now we've got Konohamaru, who's second. Episode 3, we're gonna get some big character intros. But first, we start with Naruto, who, it's his first day of, like, training, you know, or it's the first step in his new life because he's going to be assigned to a team, which is amazing. And so to get ready for this day, he eats ramen for breakfast with milk for breakfast. Ramen and milk for breakfast, okay? Important. But then we cut to Sakura. I love Sakura. What you need to know about Sakura is that she likes to yell. She likes to yell out loud sometimes, but she loves to yell in her head. It's one of my favorite, like, running bits, is how sort of calm and demure and, like, graceful and pretty she is. And then you cut to her head, her internal dialogue, and she's just, like, screaming. Not like fear, like rage. She's screaming with rage. She's hilarious. So she meets up with another girl, Ino, who's not on the wall yet. She's coming later. But it's clear that these two have drama. The girls, they love to fight, right? And the reason that they fight is because they are both in love with this bitch right here, Sasuke. He is a stoic bitch. I really picked a picture that I think portrays his vibe. Something else important to note before they all gather is that Naruto has a little bit of a crush on Sakura. So immediately these two have beef. Like, he hates him just because she likes him. So it's a fun little unfinished triangle here we have. Or is it? We'll get into it. But before we continue on, I also just want to interject something. So before watching this show, I knew very little about it. I knew Naruto is our main character. He's got, like, whiskers. I don't know what that's about. And Sasuke, I was pretty sure was, like, the bad guy. I was like, I think he's, like, the villain of the whole thing. So I was really surprised that he just, like, was a kid in the village. He was in Naruto's class. Like, they aren't friends, but they were compatriots. So, we'll get into that. Be patient. You'll get what's coming, and you're not gonna like it. Moving swiftly along, the crystal ball appears for the last time. It's not that important. Okay, so while he's watching them, he's also talking with all the Jonin, which is like the top ninjas in the village just under the Hokage. So the people who have gotten the furthest, but aren't the mayor. They're not as good as the mayor, as the ancient mayor. And so they're all watching the kids through the crystal ball. And somebody looks at Sasuke and says, "The last Uchiha." So we know that he's also an orphan. He's got no family. So that's important. But we don't, that's an ongoing thing. He's the last Uchiha in the village. Also in the office, we see this guy right here. This guy is immediately, he really doesn't speak, and you know he's got the mask, so you can't read him, but you can tell, like, he's interested in Naruto and Sasuke. He's like, these kids are weird. What do they got going on? This guy right here. So now all the kids are at school, and Naruto's getting all up in Sasuke's face because he's jealous that, like, all the girls like him. He's like he's squatting like a gargoyle on the desk in front of Sasuke, and then somebody nudges him, and they have a little smooch. Like, it's obviously for humor. I'm not gonna get into, like, ship content, don't worry, but it's a goofy moment. But, like, I saw a picture of this little smooch from episode 3, and I thought it was, like, fan art, you know? I thought it was, like, edited by somebody. I had no idea that was a real thing that happened so early into the story. So that's fun. So with the kiss, like, Sakura's screaming, the boys are gagging, and just all the girls, like, want to kill him for taking Sasuke's first kiss. And then Iruka comes in, and he says, like, it's time to be assigned into teams, and all the girls want to be on a team with Sasuke. Like, Sakura would kill to be on the same team as him. So Sasuke truly doesn't care. He's like, I don't need a team. They're just gonna hold me back. And Naruto hates Sasuke, so he's like, I do not want to be on a team with that guy. So of course, you know what's gonna happen. You can tell based on the wall. Yes, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto are forming a team. They are going to be Team 7. And Naruto, because he hates Sasuke, is complaining. He's like, I don't want to be on a team with this guy. And Iruka puts him on blast. He's like, Sasuke had the best grades in the class. You had the worst. We're trying to balance the teams out here, kiddo, so you're stuck with it. So they leave. They've gotten their assignment. They're going to meet their instructors in the afternoon, so they break for lunch. And Sakura is being so mean to Naruto while she's, like, thirsting after Sasuke. She's like, let's have lunch. And Sasuke's like, psh. And Naruto's like, I'll have lunch with you. And she's like, ew, no, fuck you, I hate you. So that's swing and a miss. Good try, buddy. So Naruto comes up with because he's sad, he really likes her. He comes up with an incredibly convoluted plan to attack Sasuke, tie him up, disguise himself as Sasuke, and talk to Sakura. And the best part about it is, it works. So he has tied up Sasuke, disguises himself as Sasuke, leaves to talk to Sakura. And so something kind of important about that is, like, this is the first time they ever fight physically. Naruto wins. So that's huge, because he's at his worst right now, let me tell you. But he goes to talk to Sakura, and basically, like, she sees him coming as Sasuke, and she's like, God, I'm so self-conscious about my big forehead, it's hideous. Which somehow Naruto as Sasuke, like, immediately picks up on. And he's like, Sakura, your forehead is just so lovely. It's just beautiful. Like, it's the perfect size and shape. So that's nice. She gets a compliment. And then he asks her, as Sasuke, remember, what she thinks about Naruto. And she says, I hate him. I don't like him at all. She just wants Sasuke to accept her. And so then, interesting choice here. Naruto, disguised as Sasuke, is about to kiss her right after talking about, how she hates him and wants him. But then, disaster strikes. His tummy, he's having a little bit of a tummy ache, okay? Because remember, ramen and milk for breakfast. He's had ramen 4 times in the last 3 episodes. We don't exactly know the time span, but not that much time has passed. Ramen and milk for breakfast. So he goes to the bathroom and blows that shit up, missing his chance to kiss his crush while disguised as her crush, who is not him. So while shitting, he comes up with a new plan. He's sort of processed that interaction, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna stay disguised as Sasuke, and I'm gonna act like a dick to Sakura so she stops liking him. Genius right here. All your best ideas come to you when you're on the toilet, let's be real. But before he can leave, Sasuke comes up to Sakura, asking her where Naruto is. And Sakura, because she's a 12-year-old girl, she says, oh, that Naruto, I hate him. He's so dumb and, annoying, probably because he doesn't have any parents. He doesn't have anybody teaching him the right way to be. And Sasuke over here, real Sasuke, hearing this, also an orphan. Dude, he does not like that. He calls her annoying and then leaves. So after that, Sakura decides, I should try to be nice to Naruto. Because of how, what he said made her feel. She's like, oh yeah, it does hurt to be called annoying. And I call him annoying constantly, even though he's, nice to me. But so because she's being nice, Naruto is, suspicious. And he thinks that Sasuke has disguised himself as Sakura and is doing another elaborate sort of trap to get back at him. So he gets ready to fight Sakura because he thinks she's Sasuke, but then he has to shit again, so he leaves. At this point, we cut to the Hokage and Kakashi, who have broken into Naruto's home, I guess, for some reason, at where Kakashi notices that the milk Naruto had for breakfast is fully expired, way past its expiration date. So there you go. There's the explanation. Not only is it ramen 4 days in a row, 4 meals in a row, but also expired milk for breakfast. And so this episode ends with Naruto on the toilet being like, God damn it. When will it end? Will it ever end? Episode 4 is the afternoon of the same day. He's gotten over his tummy troubles. We're not going to address it again. That was just a fun little bit. But he and the gang, the S gang, are waiting for their new teacher to show up. They don't know who it is yet, but Naruto is getting tired of waiting. This guy's taken a while. And so he sets up a little prank for their new teacher. He does the old, blackboard eraser on top of the door. So when the door, because they have sliding doors, opens, it's gonna fall on their teacher's head. Sakura, because she's funny, she scolds him. She's like, no, that's bad. But then in her head, she's like, I love this. Chaos, evil deeds. And yeah, she cracks me up. And then Sasuke's like, there's no way our teacher's gonna fall for that. He's a great ninja. And then the second after he says that, Kakashi walks through the door and the eraser falls onto his head, landing soundly on his puffy gray hair. Probably blends right in. And then when it lands, Sakura out loud is like, I would never do something like that. And in her head, she's like, perfect shot. And it's so cute. She's so funny. Kakashi puts the eraser down and he says to them, he's like, my first impression of you, I hate you. I hate you fucking kids. So that's fun. Love that. Like, speak on it. They're little brats. He makes them introduce themselves, even though when they ask him like what he's about, he just says, I have lots of hobbies, and refuses to say anything else. So at this point, we don't know a lot about him, but this guy, he's a fan favorite. As the show goes on, we will learn a little bit more about him, his personality, his history, yada yada. And you'll see why. Like, you can already, just looking at him, you're like, yeah, obviously that guy is gonna make the fangirls go crazy, but it'll develop even more. But for now, we don't really know anything about him, other than he's kind of a dick. So the kids are introducing themselves. All of Naruto's facts are about ramen, how he likes it, how he likes to eat it, how often he eats it, you know. And also that he wants to be Hokage. So, he wants to be the mayor. He eats a lot of ramen. Sakura is just giggling. She's like, Sasuke, so that's what she likes. And then when she's asked what she hates, she just says Naruto. So that's fun. And then Sasuke, with the what do you like, what do you hate kind of question, is like, I don't really like anything, but I hate lots of things, and I'm going to become a ninja to kill a certain man. That's all he wants, is to restore his clan to its former glory and kill that man. So Kakashi's response to all this they're bringing to the table is, good. The three of you are very distinctive and interesting. So that's nice. That's nice of him. And then he says, all right, gang, Team 7, your first mission starts tomorrow. And so he like wants to leave. He's like, goodbye. But then they're like, wait, tell us more. And so he's like, you're not going to like it. And they're like, whatever, tell us. And so then he says that of the 27 people who graduated from their class, only 9 of them are actually going to be allowed to become genin, which is like the lowest level after the Academy of Ninja. All the rest of the 27 are just going to be filtered back in. They got to go back to school, try again some other time. So this mission they do tomorrow will determine whether or not they can go forward, which the kids do not like. They did not know that. And technically they aren't even genin yet, which like is sad. They got their headbands, but they could lose it. So they're not thrilled. Naruto obviously doesn't want to be held back from his dream of becoming Hokage. Sakura doesn't want to be held back because she doesn't want to be separated from Sasuke. And Sasuke, we don't know, because he doesn't have an internal monologue like the other two. He's just like, he's just shaking with rage, I have here in my notes. The kids meet up on the training field the next day and wait for hours for Kakashi to show up. When he finally does show up, he gives some bullshit excuse, and then they finally get to work. So their challenge, their mission for this day in this field is to get 2 little bells from him. He's got them like tied to his belt, and he says, yeah, you gotta get a bell. That's how you can progress. And they have to do that by noon. And if they don't, they won't get lunch. And that's very sad. And also it's important, like, he told them not to eat breakfast. Like, don't eat before, because you're gonna like throw up, I think was the implication. But really it was to make them extra hungry, extra desperate for lunch when that time rolls around. And if they don't get a bell, they're gonna be tied to a post and have to watch him eat their lunch. Sakura asks why there's only 2 bells, and he says, so at least one of you is gonna be tied to a post, like I only brought 2 lunches. Before they start, he also tells them, you won't be able to take the bells unless you come with the intent to kill me. So he's feeling confident, which he should be. These kids can't do anything. He also, before they start, he roasts Naruto after he brings up the eraser incident, being like, we got you once. And he just calls him a loser. He just calls Naruto a loser. And this makes Naruto so mad that he tries to attack Kakashi for a bell, before he says they can start. And so Kakashi immediately, like, stops him, spins around, knife to the head, because he's not good, like, you know. And then they finally start. But before we get to see any of that, we cut to Iruka and the Hokage chatting. Iruka is, like, being all protective father, thinking that Kakashi's gonna go too hard on him. Like, Kakashi's really a tough instructor. He's got a reputation as being a really tough ninja. And so he's like, oh no, my son. And so then the Hokage shows him a book of all of Kakashi's previous students. And you're not going to believe this, but he has never passed a single one of them. He's never actually had a Genin team as a teacher because they never get past the bell test. So he's been a teacher this whole time for a while with no students, which is kind of funny. Like, that kind of fits with him, you know? He has good reasons, but then also I feel like there's a little part of him that's like, I can just not pass them and then I don't have to do this job. So meanwhile, they're having their little battle. Sasuke and Sakura are hiding in the bushes like good ninjas, trying to, you know, figure him out, stealth him, something like that. But Naruto just charges. He is facing him head on. And so Kakashi calls him weird, and then Naruto insults his hair. And that's that information, that sequence. But then we're going to start an important information section in Kakashi's lesson, and I want to read this off my notes because it's kind of important. So during this battle he has with the children, he goes through the shinobi battle techniques. So part 1, what we're dealing with first is taijutsu. And that is all of the physical skills that they use in hand-to-hand combat. So the punches, the dodges, the kicks, the flips, the jumping around really high, you know. He explains that to the kids and to us, the viewers. And then he pulls out a book called Make Out Paradise. And he just starts reading it while he waits for Naruto to, like, come at him. Because he just is so unconcerned. So he's like swinging. Kakashi dodges all of his attacks, and then ends up behind Naruto and pokes him right in the butt with the Leaf Village Secret Ultimate Taijutsu, 1,000 Years of Death, and sends him flying into the stratosphere. But Naruto comes back, he sends out some shadow clones. Everyone's pretty impressed, because, like, again, that was a secret jutsu in the secret scroll of, like, village important secrets, and he just kind of figured it out. So everyone's impressed, but he still doesn't get a bell because Kakashi tricks him, and tricks his clones into fighting each other. And then Sakura and Sasuke are not impressed that he did the clone jutsu. If he was then immediately bested. And then Naruto gets trapped in a rope, like dangling by his foot up in the air. That was an obvious trap Kakashi laid with a bell on the ground and then, you know, a rope. Kakashi, while he's dangling, tells him to think about what jutsu he uses because it could be used against him, and that a ninja needs to be able to see through deception. Sasuke uses this momentary distraction to attack Kakashi with his shuriken. And the episode ends. In episode 5, Sakura and Sasuke are both trying their hardest to get a bell, but continuously fail. Naruto's still tied up in the tree. At one point, he gets out of the trap and then immediately steps into another one, so he's back up in a tree. None of them are getting a bell, but he is doing the worst. Kakashi's going to teach us a little bit more about the jutsu in this episode. So he says there's genjutsu, which alters the mind of the person you're targeting. And then there's also ninjutsu, which is just like all the other cool shit they do. You know, like they do, the clones is a ninjutsu, right? That's just a thing. Like they make something, they do something. If it's not mind and it's not just fighting skill, then it's a ninjutsu for the most part. So sort of in between these explanations, we get to see Sasuke do some cool moves. He does a fireball jutsu. And Sasuke grazes one of the bells in the fight with Kakashi, but he doesn't manage to grab one. And then we also see, sort of with his thing, that this certain man he wants to kill has crazy red eyes. So that's fun. Wonder what that's about. And then he monologues to himself while involved in this battle about how he's the only one who can kill that certain man, about how he cried that day, and how he is an avenger and can't wait for any setbacks. And then the timer goes off. Naruto is chained to the post while Sasuke and Sakura sit next to him, grumpily in front of the lunch boxes Kakashi prepared. Even though they also didn't get bells, they get to eat lunch, which is kind of weird. Naruto is the only one tied up, but he did do the worst. So, there's that. And Kakashi tells them that he has decided he's not going to send any of them back to the academy because they're all going to be dropped from the program completely. So Sasuke tries to attack him, and Kakashi steps on him and continues berating them all for not being good ninjas. And then he kind of goes on to say, like, the point of this exercise is teamwork, and you guys didn't even consider it. You were so competitive, like, you should have just tried to work together. And then he goes crazy mode, and he puts a knife to Sasuke's neck and says to Sakura, like, kill Naruto or I kill Sasuke. Just as like a fun little example of how important teamwork is, I guess. Kakashi gives them one more chance. He says, you got 3 hours, 3 more hours to get a bell. This is your last chance. You're supposed to eat, the two who aren't tied up, to regain their strength. But if they give food to Naruto, they will be disqualified. But Naruto's not worried. He's bragging about how he can go days or weeks without eating. All the while his stomach is growling because this boy eats. Like, he uses a lot of energy, and he, doesn't have a lot of like foods that are good for him. So, but Sasuke has pity and gives him food, even though Sakura's like, you can't do that. Like, you're gonna fail because of this. But Sasuke says, like, Kakashi said we have to work as a team. If we're gonna work as a team, we all need to have our strength back. Like, we all need to be at our physically most able to work if we're gonna work together. And Sakura's like, okay. And so she gives Naruto some food too. Kakashi is watching all this go down behind a tree. So then they've just offered their food to Naruto. And then Kakashi comes in all like, you're gonna fail. But they're like, stand up for themselves. They say, no, we're a team. Like, we're gonna look after each other. And then he's like, you pass. That was the whole point. And they're the only team that's ever, like, done that. That's ever looked out for each other, which is crazy considering how much fucking tension is within this group. But they're the only ones who've ever passed. So now they get to eat their lunch. They've passed. They get to be Genin. And this is his first ever team. So, like, hooray! Hooray! Naruto starts crying because Kakashi's so cool. There's, like, triumphant music playing. And then they all leave, except Naruto's still tied up, so tee-hee. They're officially a squad that is ready for missions. End episode. In episode 6, we're done with the introductory stuff. And they've started taking missions, but the missions are lame. And so we start with them all together in the woods, communicating through walkie-talkies, attempting to catch a lost cat named Tora. Pause. Yes, I said walkie-talkies. One day I am going to make a whole video just dedicated to the modern technology in the Naruto world because I am fascinated. I am obsessed. I can't get over it. And just like the juxtaposition between old and new technology. I minored in anthropology, like, so sue me, this is the hill I will die on. But they use basic weaponry for now. They use like knives and swords and shit, which are so cool. I'm so glad there's not guns in this show. It would be boring. But they also have walkie-talkie headsets that work really well over like great distances. And another thing is that they have fully functional cameras. Remember in episode 2 when he was taking his ID photo, they just had like a regular camera. So that's weird. But basically, like, they have all the good modern technology without the bad stuff. No guns, no social media. Like, it's awesome. No cars. It's the perfect society. I mean, like, there is a war every 10 years, but at least they just use knives and demons. Whatever. I'm taking notes on the technology. From here on out, I'll probably be in future videos more than this one, pointing out like there's another little piece of interesting tech for you, kind of weird. Jake has heard me say the cameras so many times when watching this show, so you get to hear it too. They go to the Hokage and Iruka working at the mission desk in the tower and say, you know, we're here, we're done with our last mission, we got the cat, time for a new one. And Naruto's like, and none of these lame missions, we want a real mission, we want a dangerous mission. So Iruka yells at Naruto, with love, that these small tasks are important, like he's gotta work his way up, just like they all did. And because they're getting like the lowest ninja, they have to work their way up until they're ready to take on the more difficult, dangerous missions. At which point we get a breakdown of the shinobi levels, which like I think I've already kind of touched on, but let me just give you the rundown. So the kids are Genin, which is the lowest level of like official ninja. Kids like Konohamaru are pre-Genin. He might not even be at the academy yet, but that's pre-Genin. So they're the lowest, but not the lowest of the low. Like they've made it this far. And then above Genin is Chunin, which Iruka is a Chunin. And so they're like mid-tier, you know. They can get shit done. They can go on a dangerous mission. They can, like, they work well in a team. They work well as an academy instructor. I think probably all the instructors at this level are probably Chunin. And then there's Jonin, which are like the top dogs, warriors. They're always going out on the dangerous missions. And then there's the Hokage, who's the best. So that's the breakdown. The Hokage is explaining all of this to us. Naruto is not listening. He's like sitting on the floor over on the opposite side of the room telling everybody about the ramen that he ate most recently, as you do. But like, that makes sense for him. What's funny to me is that they are all intently listening. Like, to be fair, they all probably already know this stuff, but still, like, they're disrespecting their mayor to hear Naruto talk about his ramen, which I think is kind of funny. They explain that Genin aren't supposed to get missions higher than a D level, D rank missions, which is like the lowest. All these little ditzy things they're doing around town. But the Hokage sees how determined Naruto is and rewards them with a C rank mission. So nothing too dangerous, but a little bit more serious. And really, it's like they have an amazing instructor. They're going to be fine, right? And so the mission is to be bodyguards for a craftsman traveling back to his home in the land of waves. Said craftsman comes in drunk and starts berating them for being little squirts. And it's here that we learn that Naruto is shorter than both Sasuke and Sakura, probably because of his shitty diet. He only eats ramen. But this old man is Tazuna, the bridge builder. And so their mission is to escort him back to his country, the land of waves. We live in the land of fire, I guess, but then in the village hidden in the leaves within that. We'll get into it. So their job is to escort him back home and watch him while he builds his bridge, because that's his job. But what I want to know is, sir, why the fuck is he here, right? Like, drunk and yelling at children in a village, like, the next country over, when he could just be building his bridge. I don't know, it's weird. They set off, and we set off on this arc. Scenes of their travel are interspersed with someone fucking zipping through the forest and watching them from the trees. Mysterious, who could this be? I wonder if they're going to show up again. That'd be crazy. And while they're talking, Kakashi gives us some more lore about the world. There are several different nations on the continent, and some have hidden shinobi villages within them. These villages protect their respective nations, but are independently governed by people like the Hokage. The Land of Waves, where they're going, doesn't have a shinobi village in it, but ninja may still reside within its lands. The 5 nations that do have hidden villages are fire, water, lightning, wind, and earth. And these are referred to as the 5 great shinobi nations, which I don't know if I said this before, but shinobi is ninja. Konoha, that's our village, is within the land of fire. And then they have the village hidden in the mist, in the land of water, the village hidden in the clouds, in the land of lightning, the village hidden in the sand, in the land of wind, and the village hidden in the rocks in the land of Earth. The leaders also all have different names based on which village they preside over, but each of them ends with Kage, which translates to shadow. So for example, we have the Hokage in our village, which means fire shadow. And in the village of the sand, village hidden in the sand, they have the Kazekage, meaning wind shadow. We're going to learn more about all of these places throughout the series, so don't worry, you don't have to remember them. I'm just going to I'm going to give you that map. I'll probably put one on the wall at some point. And we'll fill in locations as we come across them. So after this whole lesson, Kakashi's like, but you don't really need to worry about any of that, because there's no ninja battles in a C rank mission. Like, this is not that deep. We're protecting him from like civilian thugs, that might come after him. We just don't want him to get like robbed on the road, But we shouldn't be facing off against anybody of our caliber. And so while Kakashi's telling them this, Tazuna, the bridge builder, is just like sweating and very quiet after he spent the whole first leg of the journey like yapping about how useless they are. Wondering why is he so nervous? Oh well, they're walking and boom, 2 unknown ninja attack them. They battle and Kakashi takes them out. It's pretty easy. During the battle, Naruto was useless, but Sasuke and Sakura at least tried. Noticing this, Sasuke says an iconic line that will come back again to Naruto. He says, "You're not hurt, are you, scaredy cat?" When I tell you, this is the most emotion and inflection that Sasuke has ever put into anything he's said, at least in the English dub, but I feel in general. He chose to speak with one emotion, and that emotion is sass, all right? And this, of course, fills Naruto with rage. He flies off the handle, but he got cut in the battle, and Kakashi warns him not to move around too much because it could totally be poison. And so after telling Naruto that lovely little bit of information, Kakashi turns to Tazuna, the bridge builder, and says, "We need to talk." But first, they have to figure out what to do with the ninja they have tied up in a tree. So we realize that these guys are from the village hidden in the mist, which is in the land of water, not the land of waves. It's just a smaller country right next to it. And we also see that Kakashi knew they were about to be ambushed because he saw puddles on the ground that, even though it hasn't rained recently, so he's really smart. But he waited. He let them try to attack so he could figure out who was targeting them. So it turns out Tazuna, the bridge builder, did withhold a little bit of information about the types of people who could be after him. So whoopsie. If he had said that ninja from other villages would have been after him, this would not have been a C rank mission. It would have been B or higher. And these kids are not qualified for that, and Kakashi is, but they're gonna actively slow him down, right? And they never would have been sent if it had been classified as higher, and now they're all in danger because Tazuna withheld information. So why did he do that? Money. That's revealed a little bit later, but the higher the level of the mission, the more you have to pay the village for their ninja services. So Kakashi says that they should go back to the village to get Naruto a doctor because he's been stabbed, he might be poisoned, and his hand wound could be a problem. So rather than be normal, Naruto does something insane where he takes his own knife and stabs it into his already wounded hand, into the wound, and he's basically bleeding out the poison, which is good. That's, I guess, smart, not the way I would have done it. But he says it's because he, quote, "will never be afraid or be a coward," and also he, quote, "will not lose to Sasuke." He pledges this on his self-inflicted wound and vows to continue forward on the mission to protect Tazuna. Totally unnecessary thing to do, but I love the spirit. Sakura calls him a masochist, and Kakashi goes to bandage the wound before Naruto bleeds to death. But before he can bleed to death or bandage the wound, it starts to heal on its own. So Kakashi wonders to himself if the healing power comes from the nine-tailed fox. We don't know. But Kakashi agrees to move forward. He says, alrighty, gang, let's give it a go. But the end of the episode, it is not, because we see this poodle hair man yelling at the ninjas for failing. But their leader, this baddie right here, who is wearing cow print bootcut pants, is like, it's fine. I'll go get him myself. He also has a huge sword. He has a huge sword. So this guy is Zabuza, and his nickname is the Demon Hidden in the Mist. And now it is his personal mission to take this guy out. But little does he know the kind of protection this guy's packing, right? Oh God. Big sword. Anyway, I'm obsessed with this fashion diva. Took a little break. Now my cat Burger is here. I'm not gonna touch the camera because I know it's lined up where it needs to be, but hopefully he'll stop by. So episode 7 starts with the squad, old man included, in a little boat on their way to the land of waves. And the boat has a motor technology, but the boat driver is rowing it for stealth reasons. It's very misty, so they're sneaking their way into this country. And Tazuna is giving them the backstory they requested. Somebody is making a ruckus outside. Motorcycles, am I right? But anyway, Tazuna is giving us the history, the lore that we requested. And he tells them that Poodle Man, his name is Gato, and he is the one who hired the ninja to come kill Tazuna. Why? Because Tazuna is building a bridge. He's the bridge builder. That's what he does. But Gato is a shipping magnate. So he's an incredibly wealthy man, and all of his money comes from controlling trade in the land of waves by boat. So if this bridge gets built, he's going to be in trouble. I mean, he's not. He's a rich man. He'd be fine. But, he's giving like mafia boss, bad dude energy. And so that's why he sent them to kill Tazuna, so the bridge would not get built and he could continue to have his chokehold over the land of waves. And so he ends this little info dump by saying, if you choose not to protect me, then the bridge will not be built and the land of waves will be ruined because Gato will continue to have this chokehold over our whole economy. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. I mean, my little grandson will cry and cry and cry, and my daughter will hate you. But it's fine. I don't care. So the squad's like, okay, guy, like, that sounds important. You're kind of a dick, but we'll stay and protect you. So they get on land and they're walking through the forest to get to Tazuna's home, where his daughter and grandson live. And Naruto's a little bit on edge. He really wants to prove himself because in that last fight, he didn't do anything. Sasuke at least did something and then made him feel really shitty with his sass. So he wants to prove himself and he throws a kunai knife into the bushes because he's like, I swear, someone was following us. I heard them, I swear. And so Kakashi goes to investigate and they find a little white rabbit. And so the kids are like, Naruto, you're so dumb. It was just a rabbit. But Kakashi is thinking to himself, he says, a white rabbit in this season? It's like summer. Why would its coat not have changed? Unless this rabbit was raised in captivity to be used for a substitution jutsu, which I forgot to mention earlier, in their little fight to get the bells, he was doing a lot of substitution jutsus, which is basically you think you're hitting somebody, but actually I don't really know how it works, to be honest, but that thing was not them. Or they switch out of that version of themselves and replace it with a fake version of themselves. So it's something he can do, but he's saying basically there was someone in the bushes following them. Naruto was right, but then when the knife was flying, that person, whoever it was, swapped for this bunny that they raised like for this purpose, which like mean. And so then we pan, as he's having this realization, we pan up to Zabuza in the trees. So it's clear like it was him. And it's just so funny to me to imagine Zabuza like raising a rabbit. I don't know, it's not his vibe, but he did. A rabbit for murder, but a rabbit nonetheless. This is also the only time Zabuza or anyone uses a rabbit for substitution jutsu, which like the way Kakashi said it was like, yes, this is a normal thing that happens, but I have not seen it since, but whatever. Naruto was right. Zabuza was following them. And so before any interactions happen, we hear a little bit of Zabuza's internal monologue where he recognizes Kakashi. He refers to him as the copy nin, which like nin short for ninja. And we don't know what that means yet, but we will very soon. Because Zabuza strikes. He flings his sword, his giant sword, into a tree and then stands on it. But he's like looking over his shoulder. It's so silly. He's so dramatic in his cow print attire. Love it. Kakashi recognizes Zabuza, perhaps by his beautiful clothing, perhaps by his giant sword, but his reputation precedes him. And Kakashi realizes this man is dangerous, and so he tells the others to get back, and then he lifts his headband to uncover his other eye, which we haven't seen yet. And that eye is red. Zabuza refers to it as the Sharingan. Again, we don't know what that is yet, but we will soon. And it's clear that although we don't know what this is, Sasuke definitely does. He reacts. We've actually seen a red eye like this before. You remember, don't you? It's okay. I didn't remember the first time I watched it. But the man that Sasuke wants to kill, the man he must kill, he must avenge his clan, also had red eyes like that. But he had 2 of them. And Kakashi appears to only have 1. Weird. What's that about? You will find out. But also, we won't really find out the whole story. But eventually, I'm not there yet in my watch. I'm on Shippuden right now, and I still don't really know what's going on with this fucking guy. Anyway, Kakashi uncovers his weird eye. The battle music starts. It is go time. And while they're squaring off for a fight, Sasuke explains to us a little bit about the red eye, about the Sharingan. He tells us it's a rare power that resides in the eyes, allowing the person to see and comprehend all jutsu instantaneously. Sasuke says that there's a lot more to it than that, and Zabuza tells them that the Sharingan also allows the user to perfectly copy any move they see. Therefore, Kakashi is referred to as the copy nin because of his use of the Sharingan. That explains that. That answers that question that was just posed a few seconds prior. But we learn, according to Sasuke's inner monologue, that that's impossible because the Sharingan is a bloodline trait that is only passed down through the Uchiha clan, his family. As far as we know, Kakashi is not related to him. So it's really strange that he has this power, and also that it's only in one of his eyes. Also, with this information, we realize that the person Sasuke wants to kill is also a member of his family. So he's not the last Uchiha ever. He's just the last Uchiha in the village, because someone in his family, we don't know who, is responsible for the deaths of everyone else in the family. Crazy. This kid right here, he's got a lot going on. He's so sad. So for the end of this episode, the kids line up in battle formation around Tazuna. They're here to protect him. That's their job. That's what they're getting paid to do. While Kakashi squares up to fight with Zabuza. Zabuza is somewhere taunting them. Kakashi's just waiting. And then Zabuza appears in the middle of their formation, like trying to get to the bridge builder, because that's his job, right? His job is to kill, our job is to protect. So we're a little bit enemies right now, you know what I mean? But Kakashi jumps in, tries to stab Zabuza, does not succeed. They're trying to stab each other. Da 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 da. They continue their battle with Kakashi comprehending some of Zabuza's moves. And that's the end of the episode. Jumping right into the next episode, the battle continues. Yes. They're using a lot of water clones as well as their taijutsu, their physical abilities, hand-to-hand combat. And Zabuza's also using his big-ass sword. So, that's a little bit unfair, but Kakashi's got little knives and things like that. He's throwing. They're going really toe-to-toe. They're pretty evenly matched. But then, Zabuza traps Kakashi in a bubble of water that even he cannot escape. It's not looking good for the squad. Zabuza is like taunting them, and Kakashi knows he is incapable. Kakashi knows he is incapable of fighting Zabuza in this sphere, and the kids have no chance against this grown man with a big ass sword. So he tells them to run. Kakashi says, go, leave me behind. But the kids are like, fuck that. Naruto's freaking out. He is a little bit scared. He's steps back, but then he falls. And he lands on his injured hand, where he was injured, stabbed himself, reopened the wound. It was a whole thing. And he remembers that he said he is never going to run away. He's not going to be a coward. And he's going to be better than Sasuke, okay? God damn it. He's not going to give up. So when Zabuza jumped in the middle of them, Naruto's headband fell off. And now they're further away. But with his renewed confidence, his vigor, he runs towards Zabuza. Doesn't get a hit in, but he does grab his headband and retreat. Because he is a ninja now. He is a shinobi. And he will wear that headband with pride. And he will not give it up. Just like he will not give up his mission. Then he insults Zabuza for having no eyebrows, which in this picture he does have eyebrows, but he really doesn't. So I don't know. Maybe this is photoshopped. So he does that, and then he starts to plan. But before we can get into the plan, we need Zabuza backstory given to us by Kakashi. This is what Kakashi knows about Zabuza prior to meeting him. Zabuza is from the village hidden in the mist, in the land of water, which is a lot harsher than the village hidden in the leaves. They have quite the reputation. So you know how the kids have their graduation exam, which was to do one jutsu and then they pass, right? It's a lot more intense in the village hidden in the mist. Their graduation exam, when they're all, 10, 11, 12 years old, is they partner up with somebody else in their class and then fight to the death. So that's already intense, right? That's what the village hidden in the mist used to do. But then somebody came along and he didn't just kill a partner. He killed every single other kid in his class. And he liked it. He is bloodthirsty. So he's got quite the reputation, this guy. He is bad news. Even the mist teachers who designed this were like, oh, this is too much. So then they changed to the exam. Now the kids don't have to do that anymore. Anyway, back to Naruto's plan. But before that, important context. The real Zabuza is holding Kakashi in this water bubble, and he's made a water clone, which is menacing the kids. Even though it's a clone, it's still deadly. The kids need to deal with this first. So Naruto creates a bunch of shadow clones. They rush at the Zabuza clone. He throws them off. But as Naruto is being thrown back, he tosses one of those giant shuriken that Mizuki had to Sasuke. Sasuke jumps in the air and throws it around the clone and toward Zabuza's real body. Zabuza catches it with his other hand, but there is another shuriken hiding in the shadow of the first that comes around boomerang style for him. But then Zabuza jumps over it, and then the second shuriken poofs, and it was Naruto who throws a kunai knife at Zabuza. Crazy. Next episode. Incredible plan. Beginning of the next episode, Naruto's knife is headed straight for Zabuza, and he has to jump out of the way. He can't jump over it, so he jumps, forcing him to release Kakashi. Zabuza rushes at Naruto, but then Kakashi jumps in, ready for battle, not gonna fall for the same trick twice. These two battle some more, but Kakashi is copying every single move Zabuza makes until they are completely in sync, okay? Crazy. And while this is happening, we see another mysterious baddie in the woods. They look a little something like this. Who are they? We'll find out. Back to the battle. Kakashi copying Zabuza's moves is really getting in his head. And not only can he copy his moves, he can anticipate what he's about to say and say it at the same exact time. Crazy. And he gets the upper hand. It's at the point of copying where he can do the exact move Zabuza was about to do before Zabuza can do it. And therefore, he catches him off guard. He has like a huge sweep of waves of water, just knocks him out. And then he throws a bunch of knives in him and stabs him. But before he can deliver the killing blow, the baddie from the trees throws 2 thin senbon needles into Zabuza's neck, killing him instantly. The whole gang, shocked. They're like, who is this? How did they do this? Why did they do this? Who are you? The person thanks Kakashi for taking Zabuza down, for getting him in a position where they could end him. And they say they've been tracking Zabuza for a long time, trying to get him back, trying to get his body back. And what we learn, and what Sakura kind of explains to us, is that this person must be a tracker ninja. And the job of a tracker ninja is to retrieve rogue shinobi from their village, people who have that village's secrets but have left. And so they need to be returned, dead or alive. Even if they are killed, a tracker ninja still has to bring their body back because it contains the secrets. Like, it can still be harvested for information that could be used against their village. So this person is a tracker ninja sent to get Zabuza back. Kakashi dealt a lot of blows, allowing this person to finish Zabuza off and take him away. So they disappear. Naruto doesn't like it, but the tracker takes Zabuza's body away. And they say, well, gang, let's keep going to the old man's house, all right? But first, Kakashi collapses because he's tired. Episode 10, we see that the gang has arrived at Tazuna's house. Kakashi is just lazing around because he exhausted his chakra, which, remember, is the energy force that they use to perform their jutsu. And the Sharingan that he used drains his chakra like crazy. So he's out of commission right now. He's talking a little bit about Tracker Ninja, and we cut during that little continued explanation to see the Tracker Ninja with Zabuza, and gasp! Zabuza wakes up. He wasn't dead at all. It turns out the Tracker Ninja was working with him and sent those needles to make him appear dead, but actually took him away, saved his life. He's fine. He's also tired, but he's fine. We see this, and then we're right back at Kakashi, who realizes something is wrong. Something was not right about this. As we know, he also knows. Because those little needles are hardly ever used to kill. They can be, but they're really used for medicine, for healing. Like, they're acupuncture needles, basically. And he says, that's not the kind of weapon a tracker ninja uses. They use things that are more powerful, more likely to get the job done. So they're chatting. They realize that Zabuza is almost certainly still alive. Not good. So what are they gonna do when this little bucket hat boy appears? Yeah, this is the grandson that would cry and cry. You remember? Now this kid, is a total pessimist. Naruto hates him. He tries to fight the child for being like, you guys are dumb. You're gonna get killed, just like everybody gets killed by bad people. So Sakura tries to stop him from fighting the child. Succeeds, and then the child goes up to his bedroom to stare wistfully at the ocean, as you do. I mean, me too, kid. Naruto snoops, goes up to the boy's room, and sees him crying over a picture of a man and calling that man daddy. So, he's sad. There's clearly some loss going on here. Lots of unresolved issues. And a kid so young. Like, it is sad. But then we don't have time to be sad. We're gonna jump cut to Kakashi teaching the kids about chakra control. Very important skill. He gives them an exercise to improve their chakra usage. That exercise is to climb a tree without using their hands. So basically, they have to just like walk up it, maintaining their chakra so that they can stick to the tree, not fall off, but also not like bounce off. And our girl Sakura is a natural. She, like, these guys are like, oh, this will be easy. And then they immediately like fall off. They flop. She's just up in the tree, hanging upside down. She's like, actually, she's sitting. Hanging upside down is more his speed. And she says, like, this is fun. So she's really good at this. They are not so good at this. And it's just really nice. You don't really need to know why yet, but it's just really nice to see her be good at something. This is a real highlight of the first season for me and for her, which is a little sad, but good for you. Kakashi is like taunting the boys, and Sakura yells at him. She's like, hey, don't be mean to them. But it's really the motivation they need. First of all, to see a girl better than them at something, but also Kakashi taunting them is really the motivation they need. So now this is their mission, is to climb a tree, and not only that, but to do it before the other one does it. Very important. Sasuke seems like he doesn't care, but he's definitely like picking up on some of Naruto's competitive energy, and like he also wants to be the best. He wants to be the best to kill his family member who killed his other family members. But if Naruto's the best, then he's not the best. So there's a little bit of a competition brewing. It's a lot stronger on Naruto's side, but Sasuke is feeling it as well. Naruto, after repeatedly failing, asks Sakura for advice, which is really nice. Like, he's not so overcome by his pride that he isn't willing to ask for help, which is already sort of an improvement for him because he's been so alone his whole life. It's just nice to see him asking for help. And she sits down to kind of try and give him some tips. And we get to hear some of Kakashi's internal monologue where he says, basically, Naruto has more chakra potential. Like, he can store a lot more of it in his body than Sakura can, than Sasuke can, than even Kakashi can. So even though he's not that great right now, like, he has so much potential because he just has so much chakra potential, basically. So that's interesting. Keep that in mind. Keep that little nugget. It will be important. Meanwhile, end of the episode, Poodle Hair Gato comes to yell at these guys, comes to yell at Zabuza for failing again, but Haku steps in immediately, like, kind of scares him off, disarms his other guards. So we can tell this guy's tough, whoever this is. So Gato says, fine, you have one more chance to kill the bridge builder. And he leaves, and that's the end of the episode. Episode 11. While the boys climb trees and Kakashi lays on his ass all day because he's tired, Sakura has been tasked with guarding the bridge builder. So she's at the bridge, they're kind of chatting. He's a grumpy old man, so he's like, where are the other two? And she says, they have special training. And he's like, don't you have to do it? And she says, no, I'm already great at it. So that's cute. But then this moment is interrupted because one of his employees comes up to him and says, basically, like, can I please quit my job building the bridge? They're at the bridge right now, kind of building it, you know, the reason all of this is happening. And this guy says, like, I am putting myself at risk. You are putting yourself at risk. Everyone here is in danger because of this bridge, and I just don't want to take that risk anymore. So Tazuna blows up. He's like, this bridge is important for our country, for our land. It's important to stop this asshole, because like it's not just that he won't let them build the bridge. He's ruined their country because he is so in control of it economically. That's like why he couldn't afford to say who was after him, because he couldn't pay for a B or A rank mission. He had to say it's B because that's all he had the money for, because their country is so fucked because of this man. So anyway, he goes off on his employee, and then he also is like, let's go to lunch and don't bother coming back. So grumpy old man is grumpy, but also the work he's doing is really important. So, you know, meanwhile, the boys still suck at climbing trees. They're getting a little bit better. They are using their knives to mark how high up they get on the tree, and they're slowly progressing, but neither of them are good enough yet. So Sasuke, sort of in a moment of desperation, is like, Naruto, what did Sakura tell you? What secrets did she give you? But Naruto refuses, and that's the end of that. They all meet at Tazuna's that night for dinner, where Sweet Bucket Hat Boy is once again being emo. He's being grumpy. They're all being sassy. And Sakura notices a picture on the wall. And it is a family picture, but it's clear that it's been torn, like someone has been removed. And so 12-year-old girl doesn't have a lot of tact. She says like, hey, what's up with that picture? And Inari just like runs off crying, because we know what's up with that picture. We know. So then Tazuna gives us the story. He explains that the person missing from the photo is Kaiza. Kaiza came to the village a few years ago. He's not, the kid's name is Inari. I'm going to use his name now. He's not Inari's birth father, but he's his stepfather, and he meant the world to Inari. They first met when Inari was being bullied and pushed like into the ocean by the bullies. And for some reason, this kid can't swim. Like, you live in the land of waves. Your mom should have taught you how to swim, but it's fine. Whatever. And Kaiza rescues him and then like gives him a really impassioned speech about, let me pull it up so that I can read it for you. He goes all in on this this heroic speech to Inari about protecting the things that are important to him and living a life that he could never regret. And thus, like, they have a really close bond. I guess then later he like marries his mom or something. She's not on the wall. I'm sorry, she just is not important. Like, she's not. Then later, after sort of that bond has been formed, there is a flood in their village, which their village like is the country. It's very small, so it kind of makes sense. But there's a huge flood, and the dam in town breaks, and everybody's like, we can't go out and do it. Whoever goes out to try to fix it is gonna die. And Kaiser's like, we have to try to protect the people we care about. So he swims out in the flood, he fixes it, everything's great, he's a hero. And like, you're watching this and you're like, oh, this must be how he died, right? Because he's clearly dead. But no, he survives. He saved the village. Everyone loves him, especially his son. And then Gato shows up in town. And I think you know what happened. Yes. Kaiza continued to be the town hero. He said, like, hey, we're not going to stand for this guy being a criminal, like menacing us all the time, ruining our lives. And so Gato makes an example of him. He literally like crucifies him in the town square. So everyone has to watch him die, including his son. So that's why he's such a little pessimist baby. It's very tragic. That is sad. But Yeah, that's the story there. So this is the picture that Inari was crying over when he was staring wistfully out at the sea. And this is why, like, it's so important to Tazuna to build this bridge, but everybody else is so scared because they watched their hero, like, be killed by this man. So if he couldn't stop him, can anybody, right? I don't know. Everybody in town is a pessimist like Inari. Only Tazuna, who's so grumpy, is like, we have to do this. But he doesn't have the support right now. Also, Inari's mom is named Tsunami. Like, I just think that's kind of funny. I don't know. I'm gonna name my kid Tornado or Earthquake. So that's a fun fact. And now we're on to episode 12. We see Haku without the mask. Sorry, I didn't tell you. This person's name is Haku. Haku is in the woods without the mask, just living his Disney princess life. Picking flowers, talking to birds, like being all whimsical, And he comes across Naruto, passed out because he stayed up all night climbing trees. So Haku recognizes Naruto. He's passed out, so he's not doing any recognizing, and is about to kill him because he knows, like, this person is working against us right now. He might not be a threat, but, like, I could take him out right now. But he doesn't. He takes pity or has some sort of crisis of morality, even though he's, like, a bad guy. He's not really a bad guy, you know? He's a Disney princess. So he spares Naruto's life, and Naruto wakes up. Does not recognize Haku without the mask. Thinks Haku is a beautiful lady because he is. He is a beautiful lady, Disney princess. And the two of them have a nice chat about, like, Naruto's hopes and dreams, how he wants to be Hokage, he wants to be respected. And what Haku says is, like, that's great and all. Do you, like, what's precious to you, though? What's important? Like, is there someone you do it for? Is it just for yourself? Like, and this is a recurring theme that we're gonna bring up a lot, of having someone precious to you. But at this point, Naruto doesn't really understand what he's talking about. He's like, I just want respect. Like, I've had a hard life. I'm, gonna be the mayor. So Haku tells Naruto that having something or someone precious that you want to protect is what gives you power, which reminds Naruto of Kaiza, who did so many brave, like, scary things to protect the people he loved, but also, like, the whole village. So he's gonna stew on that for a while. Haku leaves, and as he's leaving, he turns back to Naruto and basically says, like, and I'm not a girl, by the way. So crush ended, I guess. Doesn't have to. And he passes by Sasuke as he's leaving the woods, and Sasuke is entering the woods. So Sakura and Kakashi are both like, now where are our boys? It's the wee hours of the morning. Naruto never even came home, and Sasuke's already left. So they go to find them and are really surprised to see that Naruto is up pretty high in a tree. Like, they see the progress that he's made over the past day or two. So anyway, Naruto's patting himself on the back. But then he loses his grip because he lost his concentration over his chakra and begins to fall. And Sasuke saves him. So now that's just more fuel on the hatred fire. But Sasuke was only able to save him because he's also improved. So, good job. Go boys. You've probably already noticed, and it will continue to be a thing, but Naruto, the show, has a lot of sort of quick cuts between, like, this group of people, this group of people, this group of people, or even, like, 3 groups of people. And that will affect how information is delivered sometimes. When I'm talking about it, sometimes I'll, like, combine scenes if we're going quick back and forth, just for consistency, conciseness. But I also want to stay true to how the show delivers information to us. So we cut to Inari being sad because his dad is dead. We cut to Zabuza and Haku in they're awesome. It's like a really cool treehouse where Zabuza is still recovering. And then we cut back to Sasuke and Naruto at the very tops of 2 trees. They did it. They're good enough, I guess. They did it. They mastered chakra control in this exercise. So, great job. So now they get to join Sakura in bodyguard duties. Hooray. Probably even less fun than climbing trees for 2 straight days. So that night, they're all gathered for dinner again, and Inari is whining about how there's no heroes, the bad guys always win, and tells Naruto that he doesn't know what it's like to suffer and to be treated poorly. And I mean, this boy right here, oh, he knows. So he's not happy with this, okay? Little boy does not know who he's talking to. And Naruto straight up calls him a coward to his face, which is fair. Like, everyone's gonna deal with their trauma differently, but they've had similar things. I mean, Naruto, perhaps worse, at least, like, he never even had anyone to lose. And he's not given up like this kid has given up. If he wants to act all tough, then it is time for some tough love. So he yells at him, Kakashi comforts him, and explains, like, Naruto said all that because he has had a rough life. Like, he gets it more than anybody. So that's nice. It was nice of him. And then he tells Inari Naruto's tragic backstory. So the next morning, Naruto is exhausted from all of his training. So he actually gets to sleep in. The other 3 are still on. They're in high hopes. They're feeling good for the mission. So they all go to the bridge where Tazuna is still just working away. He should have it finished here in a few days as long as they don't get stopped. Uh-oh. Obviously, these 2 are also out to play. He's recovered. He's recovered. They were doing the same exact shit, so it makes sense. They're on the same timeline. So Naruto might be tired, but again, he's got a lot of chakra. He's got a quick recovery. We watched his hand heal in real time. So he wakes up and he's like, "Ah, man, they left without me." So he goes to follow them, but in the woods, he spots a dead boar. Weird. What is that about? You'll find out soon. Back at home, 2 thugs are waiting outside the home where just Inari and Tsunami, the mom, are currently. Now back to the bridge. They see that all of the builders have been, like, injured. They are not working. And a heavy mist rolls over the bridge. At this point, Zabuza jumps out with a bunch of water clones, and Sasuke can see that they're clones. He can tell, which is unusual. And he strikes them all down pretty easily. But then the real Zabuza comes out with Haku, and the episode ends. It's gotten dark outside, and I can tell my phone where I'm filming this is about to die. So I'm going to take a little break. It'll be no time at all for you, and we'll jump right back in tomorrow. It's a new day, new hair. I'm back and ready to finish this video up so that I can learn how to edit and then get to the next one. So episode 13 begins with Naruto running through the woods, trying to catch up, but little does he know, shit has already gone down at the bridge, or is currently going down. So back at the bridge, we see the squad facing off against these guys. And Sasuke says that he's going to take Haku out. Like, I can handle this guy. But Haku makes the first move, and he doesn't get the advantage. And what Haku does is spin around very fast. Very scary. Meanwhile, we jump right back to the house where Inari and his mother are currently. And the thugs who were at their house are roughing them up. And they go to take Tsunami hostage. Tsunami hostage. But Inari comes out. And they're like, well, we only need 1, so kill him. But his mom is like, no, don't. Like, I'll do whatever you say, whatever you want. Don't kill my boy. And they don't, which is, like, good. I feel like they probably could have easily taken her anyway. But he's alive, so that's really great. And they take his mom away, which is upsetting. He is really just sobbing in the foyer as the last sort of person he has is taken away from him. Like, he still has his grandfather, but he knows how much danger his grandfather's in. And now his mom is gone, so he's all alone. But then he remembers Naruto's words, and he remembers his father's words. And he decides it's time to boss up. So he runs after the thugs. He's yelling at them, like, leave her alone, which he's like an 8-year-old boy. He's not going to fight them. But still, it's like a really big moment for him. And fortunately, Naruto comes back. He recognized that dead boar in the woods as like an omen, but really just sort of an indication that there were some like messy, bad people in the woods, right? And he followed that trail and realized it was leading back to the house, not to the bridge. So he knew something was going to go down. Like, something was very wrong here. So he goes back and he defeats the bad guys with his shadow clones. He saves Inari. It's excellent. It's really good. And then he's like, I gotta go, because I just bet you shit's going down at the bridge. And he's right. So back at the bridge, Haku and Sasuke are fighting. And at first, they're pretty evenly matched, which is good for our crew, right? Because Sakura's watching the bridge builder. Kakashi's like ready to fight Zabuza, but they're letting the kids have their moment because this is like exciting. It's Sasuke's first like big battle. Probably not Haku's, but still, you know, it's the TV show. It's the arc. This is big. So they're fighting. They're pretty evenly matched, but Haku does get the upper hand. And how he does that is he can do the hand signs, which is how they perform jutsu, but he can do them with one hand. And so, like, not only is that really impressive, but somehow that makes him, like, I don't know, faster, better. So Sasuke is not only like, what the hell, but he's also getting outmatched, which isn't great. But still, they're both holding their own at this point. And while the dads are just watching, Kakashi comes up with superlatives for his team. Sasuke is the top rookie fighter. Sakura is the sharpest mind. And Naruto is the number one hyperactive knucklehead ninja. So that's nice. That's really, he's figured his kids out pretty quick. He gets their vibe. Elsewhere, like as this is happening, Naruto sneezes, which is one of my favorite bits in the show. They do it semi-regularly. You know, somebody's talking about someone who's not there, and then elsewhere that person sneezes. It's cute. It's a good way to break up the tension a little bit as it's slowly building in all these different areas in the land of waves. Also, I lied. Naruto has not left the kids yet, but he says, like, what did he said he apologizes for calling him a coward. He says, you're not a coward. And also, like, it's okay to cry. You're allowed to cry, especially now, like, out of relief and joy that your mom wasn't just kidnapped and you're not dead. So Naruto does not believe in toxic masculinity, right? Excellent. We're not perpetuating the cycle of abuse and toxicity and pain. And then Naruto leaves. Then he leaves. Inari unties his mom. He's going to the bridge where the shit's going down. So back at the bridge, Naruto's not there yet. Haku and Sasuke are, you guessed it, still fighting, while everybody else just stands around and watches them have their little moment. But then Haku does something really strange. He creates like a dome, a big ball, a sphere of ice mirrors. So they're like sheets of ice all around the two of them fighting. And it's weird because Kakashi, who's been around the block, he's the copy ninja, he memorizes every jutsu he sees, often copying them, and he's never seen anything like this. So he's like, that's not good. This is something I've never seen before, and so they are no longer evenly matched. And so he goes to intercept, to step in to help Sasuke, but then Zabuza stops him and is like, no. They got to duke it out. Like, you got to keep your focus on me, because the second you leave, I kill the bridge builder. So Kakashi cannot step in and help them because it's their mission, and also, like, their mission is important, you know? I mean, is he a stickler for the rules? I don't really know, but he can't step in right now while Zabuza is there. Because Sakura would be in danger as the one left protecting Tazuna. She might be the sharpest mind. Girl does not know how to fight. Or she does conceptually, cannot do it. So inside the dome, Haku steps inside one of the mirrors and then like appears in all of them. And so from these mirrors, he's throwing more of those little senbon needles at Sasuke. He's getting him with these needles, but he's not killing him because, again, they're not like killing weapons. They could be, but he's not killing him yet. But he is stabbing him with lots of little needles, giving him a bit of an acupuncture treatment. So Sakura is trying to help Sasuke because Haku is moving so quickly, like between mirrors, throwing these knives that Sasuke cannot keep up, can't dodge, can't counterattack. So she tries to help by throwing a kunai knife to Sasuke so he can use it to block the needles. I don't know why he doesn't have his, because they should all have them. But Haku very easily catches it out of the air. So that was a bust. But then Naruto shows up in the most dramatic fashion. Sakura throwing that knife was enough of a distraction that Naruto throws one of his little ninja stars, one of his, I guess they're also shuriken, just very small, but he throws it and somehow knocks Haku out of the mirrors, so sort of throwing him off for a second, slowing down the assault on Sasuke, which is just so dramatic. It's so fun. He's very heroic, coming in at the last second, saving the day. But is it saved? And we're on to episode 14. The title of this episode is The Number One Hyperactive Knucklehead Ninja Joins the Fight. And that's exactly what he does. He starts talking shit about how he's the hero, swinging in at the last second to kick butt, because that's his personality. And just while he's saying this, everyone here, like whether they're the good guys or the bad guys, is already over his shit. They're like, yeah, whatever, dude. We're in the middle of something. Except Haku, who, again, is like still in this dome. He's been knocked out of the mirror, but he's still very much in the fight. The ninja star didn't even hit him. It just knocked him out of the mirror. And so he recognizes Naruto again. And he's like, wait a minute, that is my friend from the woods. What are you doing here? Like, that's so crazy. And Haku wants to see, like, what Naruto can do, what he's capable of. So, that's nice. And how does Haku show this? Well, Zabuza throws a bunch of weapons at Naruto, right? Because he's like, this kid, he's annoying. But Haku knocks them all out of the way with his needles because he wants to fight Naruto. He doesn't want him taken out of the fight so early when he just got here. So Zabuza calls Haku soft for sparing Naruto's life, even though he said it's because he wants to fight him. Still, Zabuza is like, you're soft. Like, why'd you spare him? And Sasuke realizes, like, Haku kind of is soft. Like, just because those needles aren't killing weapons, he absolutely could have killed me when he had the chance, and he didn't. He's been, like, getting me in points that would not be lethal at all. Like, he's barely even bleeding. So, what's going on there? Of course, Sasuke takes the information of his own survival as a personal slight. He thinks that Haku is doing this, like, to embarrass him. He's not killing him because he wants to embarrass him in the fight. And, like, because he wants to embarrass him rather than out of any sort of, like, basic morality struggle. So, that's our Sasuke. So he's pissed. Sasuke throws a knife at Haku while Haku is talking to Naruto because he thinks Haku's distracted, which Haku easily knocks out of the way. And then Haku comes back full force of attention on Sasuke and tells him that he should have conceded this fight when he had the chance because now they're gonna have to fight for real. And Sasuke thinks he wants that. He does not want that. This guy's tough. Like, rogue ninja. Okay? He's just on a different level. He's still a kid. He's not on Zabuza's level, but He made an ice dome thing. Like, that's weird. Before getting back in the fight with Sasuke, Haku says sort of a final thing to Naruto, which is, after I kill your friend, I can't wait. We're gonna fight for real. You and me. So, thanks for that. And then he starts doing the same thing. He's in the mirrors. He's throwing all these needles at Sasuke. Sasuke cannot keep up, cannot dodge, and gets stabbed a bunch more times. Again, still not in lethal spots, but he's accumulating stabs. And Sasuke just cannot figure out how Haku is moving so quickly between the mirrors, because only one of them is the real Haku. The rest are just reflections, but the needles are coming from all directions. So he is like teleporting from mirror to throw the needles at light speed, which, like, also teleportation isn't really real. It kind of is. They move really fast anyway, but Sasuke cannot keep up with that speed. It is unnatural speed. But Sasuke is looking. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying to piece together some kind of pattern. If he can't figure out, like, how quickly he's moving through the air, if he can see and expect where he's going to be during an attack, that could be beneficial. So Haku definitely still has the advantage right now, but Sasuke is trying to focus up in between, like, getting stabbed a bunch of times and figure out his next move. And so all of the smart people realize that the best course of action is for Sasuke to continue attacking / dodging Haku's attacks from inside the dome, and for Naruto, who's currently unengaged with another battle, to attack the sphere from the outside, right? That's what all the smart people think should happen. So what does the not smart person do? He charges inside the dome. He's like, "Hi, Sasuke, I came in here to help you fight." And Sasuke's like, "You dumbass. How is that helpful? Now we're both just going to get stabbed a bunch of times, and you are going to actively slow me down." Haku very generously lets them sort of have this argument about how dumb Naruto is before launching the next round of needles. So Sasuke tries to do a fireball jutsu to melt the ice, right? Seems like that would work, but it doesn't. The ice is just, like, really cold. It's also kind of magic ice, so good idea. Didn't work this time, but we love to see that little brain working. Then Haku hits them both with the needles. They both get stabbed. So Naruto realizes that only one of these is the real Haku, and they need to figure it out. So he produces his shadow clones to try and, go towards all the mirrors, scare him out of hiding, beat him up. But Haku just kills all the shadow clones with his super fast needles, and it's just them again. So at this point, Kakashi realizes that Haku must possess the Kekkei Genkai. And so the Kekkei Genkai is a bloodline trait that is passed only through families, through generations of a family. And it is the only type of jutsu that the Sharingan eye cannot copy. So that explains why we've never seen anything like this, because it's only in Haku's family. And also, like, even the best guy on the team can't use his special power against it. And we're going to talk about Kekkei Genkai a lot more throughout the show, okay? But this is our first sort of introduction. But I will point out this description of a bloodline trait very similar to the Sharingan, which is only passed through the Uchiha family line, except for this guy, At this point, we unlock a little bit more of Haku's tragic backstory. I don't think I addressed these flashback scenes before because they kind of come up again here. But we flash back to when he's a little boy. He's alone on a bridge in the snow, clearly, like, starving, going to die soon. And then Zabuza finds him. And their relationship is just so confusing to me, even after, like, rewatching these episodes several times. we'll get into it. But basically, Haku in this flashback says to Zabuza, you have the same eyes I do. Basically meaning like, we both have trauma. And then we're back in the present. And Haku says to the boys, he says like, I never wanted to be a shinobi. I don't want to kill you. But if you keep following your mission, if you keep fighting me and fighting Zabuza, then I will have to kill my own kindness by killing you. So that's interesting. This boy, he's a tough cookie, but he is a gentle soul, a Disney princess, don't forget. And he doesn't want to kill them, which we kind of already knew from the nature of these attacks. And why would he resort to this, like destroying his own morality? Why? Because they have conflicting dreams. Now, what does that mean? Basically, their dream, their goal is to stop Zabuza and protect the bridge builder by like whatever means necessary. This guy's gotta go. They almost killed him once. Like, they have to try again. And Haku's dream, like what he is here to do is to protect Zabuza. His dream is to help him get his dream. His whole life purpose is to help Zabuza. It's intense, and we are going to keep exploring that sort of through the end of this arc. But that's the end of the episode. On to episode 15. Kakashi very optimistically says, there's no way these guys are going to get Haku. Like, they are not going to win this fight. So, thanks, Dad. Does not believe in his kids right now. Not in this battle, but he's a realist. Like, number one knucklehead ninja, and been stabbed a bunch of times. Proven not really having the advantage. And he says they're gonna lose because they also, like, don't want to kill, and they don't have the instincts to kill. Haku doesn't want to, but he totally could. These guys, I mean, Sasuke's gonna kill that certain man, but they've never done it before. Like, I don't even think Naruto's really thought about it before. They are soft. They have, like, hard lives in Konoha, but good lives. So he knows that he needs to come and help them. But he cannot do that with Zabuza still around, because the second he moves, he's going to kill the bridge builder, right? Who's just standing there. Sakura's like, oh, I got him. But she doesn't. So he knows he needs to kill Zabuza first before he can save his boys. But then even Zabuza says to Kakashi, like, Kakashi, you might be able to defeat me. Like, you might kill me today, but even you cannot defeat Haku. He believes in his boy that much. And so this whole time, Sasuke is still watching very closely while Naruto is making his shadow clones, running, they're being poofed away. He's been watching, and slowly he starts to be able to see Haku moving between the mirrors. He's just a blur, but Sasuke can see the movement, which he couldn't before. He can't quite keep up yet, but he does manage to scorch the end of Haku's pants with another fireball jutsu. So, he's catching up. He's not keeping up, he's catching up. Sasuke tells Naruto to get out of the dome, to do whatever he can. But Haku isn't into that. And so he stabs Sasuke, like, for real this time. He's getting tired of this. And he gives Naruto a couple other little stabs as well, just for good measure. Back to Kakashi and Zabuza, which is the bigger fight of this episode. They're chatting for a bit, and then they finally, like, get into it. But Zabuza is fighting with his eyes closed. Why? Because he realized after their last fight that not only does the Sharingan copy moves, but it also has, like, a little bit of hypnotic, mesmerizing powers, right? So there's another layer to this that we didn't previously know about. But he realized that Kakashi had basically been, like, hypnotizing, sort of manipulating him into doing the moves, the jutsu that Kakashi wanted to do. So he wasn't just copying him. He started out by copying him and then got in his head, and then he manipulated him by like riling him up, getting him sort of off his nerve, off his feet. He manipulated him into doing certain jutsus, which allowed him to get the upper hand and almost kill Zabuza. So that's why he's fighting with his eyes closed. And also, he brings like a heavy mist over the area. So Kakashi can't even see Zabuza. So just with these two subtle choices, he has managed to basically render the Sharingan useless, because he can't copy, he can't read what Zabuza's about to do, and he can't make Zabuza do something. So Kakashi's like trying to figure out where's Zabuza, what's his next move, without his superpower, but he's still a smart cookie, so he realizes obviously Zabuza is going to take this opportunity to go straight for the bridge builder. Kakashi jumps in front of Sakura, who's in front of the bridge builder, and Zabuza lifts his giant sword and swings it. And we end with just like a splatter of blood in the air. And that's the end of the episode. Now let me ask you, I didn't have this problem, fortunately. I just am in the streaming era and could jump to the next episode. But imagine you're watching this live on television in 2002 and you have to wait a week to see like, oh my god, is Teacher dead? Is Teacher tragic backstory? We'll find out. Episode 16. So Sasuke and Naruto have both been stabbed a bunch. Sasuke's got like a pretty bad one in his shoulder, but they're really worried because they heard this. They heard like Sakura scream when the sword was coming down. So they're like, oh fuck, we have to get out of this so we can reunite with our team, make sure they're okay. Everybody's just trying to make sure the other half is okay. So they're like, we're gonna get out of this. Now Naruto should be completely exhausted from making so many shadow clones. But as we know, this kid right here has so much chakra. So much. And he started to learn how to control it a little bit better. So despite how many shadow clones he's been making, and also like he just woke up, they expected him to sleep all day from all of his training, but he woke up ready to go, and he just erupts in a ball of like blue chakra flames, and he runs at the mirrors. He's trying to escape. Like, he's finally picked up on the fact that he would do a lot better if he was on the outside helping Sasuke rather than from the inside. But still, despite his blue fire chakra energy, Haku manages to stop him, keeping him still trapped inside the dome with Sasuke. But like I said, Sasuke's been watching, so when Haku throws the next round of needles, he picks one of the fallen ones up off the ground and manages to block all but one of them. Sasuke is in the zone. The music is picking up, and then he lifts his head and we see two red eyes. Yes, in this battle, Sasuke has unlocked his own Kekkei Genkai, his bloodline trait, the all-comprehending, all-seeing red eyes. The Sharingan. He's got him. Finally, we return to back outside the dome, where we see that Zabuza did, like, slice Kakashi up. He managed to get him good with that. So there's your answer. But he's not down or anything. He's fine. He's just got a big bloody wound on his chest. So Zabuza and Kakashi, after this, they're just facing off. They basically have an argument about whose son is more powerful, right? Haku, Sasuke, Naruto's also there. But it's really... they're the only ones in the running right now. Somehow Kakashi, like, knows. Or maybe he doesn't, but he's starting to believe in them a little bit more. He's like, hey, wait, no, my son can do it. And Zabuza's like, no way, dude. My son is way more powerful. Which, like, even though they both have the Kekkei Genkai, different ones, obviously, Sasuke truly just unlocked his. Haku's been training for years. They're still not evenly matched. We're just trying to level the playing field a little bit with these red eyes. And then they fight some more, or whatever, back inside the dome. So Naruto passed out during that last round, but he wakes up to see Haku on the ground and Sasuke standing over him, so covered in needles, like porcupine mode, and just calling him an idiot. Like, he's just like, you idiot, why'd you pass out? And then he passes out. So Naruto is cradling Sasuke in his arms as they're like on the ground. And Sasuke gives such a dramatic, like dying speech. He feels regret that he's dying because all he wanted, his dream, was to kill his brother. And Naruto, you shouldn't give up on your dreams. And then he's out. And then, obviously, like not a fun moment for Naruto. He doesn't like the guy, but that was a lot. And he just erupts in a rage. Steam is coming off of him. And then we see a different sort of chakra begin to surround him. This chakra is orange, okay? Turns out he's got fancy red eyes too, with slit pupils. The cute little whiskers he has on his face, they widen and get darker, and his voice gets deeper. It's like there's two voices, one from deep inside of him speaking at the same time. It's like he's possessed or something. Yeah, he is. The nine-tailed fox's chakra is erupting out of Naruto. But this should not be possible. When the fourth Hokage sealed the fox up, it was so that he could never pull any shit again. And yet, it's coming out now. The needles spring out of his body, gone, healed. His fingernails sharpen into claws, and he's just like on the ground growling, okay? Now, everyone, even outside of the dome, can feel this new energy coming from him, and they're like, what the fuck is that? Whatever it is, I don't like it. It's him. It's him. It's him. I love it when Naruto goes fox mode. He's just like a little feral baby. It's so funny. And it's just awesome that he is also kind of unlocking something. It's not a good something, but it will prove useful. We end the episode with him just charging at Haku with all the rage and destructive power of a literal demon. Episode 17, Kakashi is worried that the seal has been broken somehow, but he realizes as bad as this feels, it would feel a hell of a lot worse if the fox was fully out to play. So it must have just loosened a little bit. We see that the seal is like literally a piece of paper with some kanji on it, that's like somehow inside his soul or inside his body. And it's just like the top is kind of booped off, but it's not totally gone. So this energy is just leaking out of him slowly, and it's a lot. So like we know this guy has got a lot more if this is just the barest hint of his power, but leak it is doing. Naruto is beating Haku up hard. And finally, he just punches Haku through the ice mirrors, out of the dome, completely shatters all of the mirrors. Haku rises from the attack. He's not down and out for the count yet, but his mask is broken and it falls to the ground. We get to see his face again, which Naruto didn't know the connection. He will. But the mask falls from his face and he realizes he could have defeated Sasuke. Like, he would have been capable. But he knows there is no way he can defeat whatever this thing is. Whatever this thing Naruto has become, he knows he's no match. But Naruto, as the mask falls, recognizes him as that pretty boy from the woods. And the shock of this, like, calms him down. The chakra goes away. He's got normal fingernails, his normal cute whiskers. I think his normal eyes. Like, he's regular Naruto again, just at the sight of seeing this boy who had seemed like so peaceful. He did not realize that they were the same boy until this moment. Then Haku goes on a long tangent about like duty versus passion, and this makes Naruto mad. Like, he gets pissed again. Not enough to turn into an angry fox, but he's mad because, like, Haku's duty, the one he's doing it all for, is Zabuza, and Zabuza sucks. So what gives? Haku understands this. He knows that Zabuza sucks, so he finally shares his tragic backstory. And we get to see further back than just this first meeting. We realize that in his village, the Kekkei Genkai is viewed as extremely dangerous. And so he got it from his mother, but she kept it a secret from her husband. He thought she was just a regular woman. They fell in love. They had a child. Life was good. But then as Haku grows up, he starts to like feel this power in him. He starts to explore it, and his father sees and kills his mother. He tries to kill Haku. But Haku, unintentionally, just out of fear, like his whole house erupts with these shards of ice, and he kills his own father. And now he is all alone with these dangerous powers he doesn't understand. Nobody in the village would take him in. They all fear this anyway, and he just killed his father. So as Haku explains to Naruto, he's edgy and sad, and Zabuza, for all his suckiness, gave him a purpose, a reason to keep on living, even if that reason is just to help Zabuza keep on living. That's all Haku needs to keep going. And in this moment, Naruto realizes just how similar they are. Not only that they're both tragic, sad orphans, but also Naruto wants people to need him. Like, that is what drives his goal of becoming Hokage, of becoming respected. Is like, he wants that. And that's what Haku found in this fucked up little man. But now Haku feels that he cannot fulfill his purpose anymore. He was Zabuza's weapon to be wielded, to be used. And now he's a broken weapon. He's been defeated. And so he asks Naruto to kill him. Naruto refuses and rightfully is like, you're a dumbass. You're not just a tool for this tool, okay? He's like, no, I'm not gonna kill you. Why are you giving up so easily? Why have you already given up on life? Meanwhile, we're back to these guys. Zabuza continues to hide in the mist, but then he is attacked. By what? By a bunch of dogs in cute little ninja outfits. Yes. These are Kakashi's dogs. Specifically his nin dogs, his summons. They dug up through, I think, the concrete of the bridge, so that's going to be a hassle for this guy later if he makes it out alive. But they followed the scent of blood, Kakashi's blood, on Zabuza's sword. Yes, Kakashi allowed himself to be cut so that his dogs could burrow over to Zabuza, even in the mist, not needing to see him because they used their sense of smell, and they just surround him. He is completely ensnared by this team of dogs. He cannot move. He cannot perform a hand sign. He can't do anything. And then Kakashi has a fun little zinger. He says, "The mist is clearing, and now I see. You know what I see? Your death," because he's sassy like that. Then he just keeps saying some shit about Zabuza. He knows a lot more about him than we already heard. Like, he knows him, and he knows what a loser he is. He's just talking about how, like, you left your village because you tried to perform a coup and take over, and you failed, and now you're on the run, taking dumb jobs from assholes like Gato, just so you can raise enough money, go back to the village, and try that stupid plan again. You dumbass. Then, he says he's gonna kill him. But not with the jutsu he copied from anybody. He's gonna use his own jutsu. Now, this jutsu is important. It will come up again. Pay attention. Kakashi channels his chakra into his hand, and it appears and sounds like lightning. He has just contained crazy lightning power in his hand. We move on to episode 18. We start with the 8-year-old Inari running around the village, knocking on people's doors, begging them to come and fight, to come and save the bridge. And the people on the other side of those doors say, hell no. They're still pessimists. He's recovered. He's a recovered pessimist. Everybody else has not had this journey yet. But he says, we need to live a life without regret, which is what his father told him when they first met. We have to fight. And then he leaves. He goes around to all the doors. Nobody supports him. Back on the bridge, we rehash the same shit with these two. I'm not going to go over it again. I get it, but I don't really get it. We go over, Kakashi saying he's a loser, Haku begging Naruto to kill him, and Naruto's like, I'm not going to convince you that you're wrong, so okay. And he just starts charging at Haku with a knife. He's ready to make his first kill, to draw blood. But Haku is just standing there, waiting, ready. And at the same time Naruto's running, Kakashi is charging towards Zabuza, lightning in hand, to kill him as well. So, Naruto's about to kill Haku, and Haku says, wait. So sorry. Actually, change of plans. I can't do that. And then he disappears. And he reappears. He wasn't ready to die yet. Instead, he's ready to die 5 seconds later when he jumps in front of Zabuza, taking the full force of Kakashi's lightning blade hand. He's gone. He's dead instantly, collapsing to the ground. Everybody here, because they can see the mist is gone, everybody here is shocked. Even Zabuza, shocked at what just occurred. Kakashi didn't have time to stop. He didn't even realize what was happening until it was too late. Zabuza recovers first, and he says, well done, Haku. And they're all very close still, right? And he goes to strike Kakashi through Haku's body because he is crazy and evil. Kakashi grabs Haku's body, leaps out of the way, and lowers him to the ground, closing his eyelids, closing the eyelids of the body. And now he's pissed. Meanwhile, we see a brief little convo between Sakura and Naruto, where Sakura says, she's so relieved that Naruto is still alive, because they didn't know what was going on in the dome. They felt the crazy things. I'm sure they heard the clanging of weapons, but she's so relieved. And then she says, but where's Sasuke? And Naruto's like, oh, yeah. And she sees Sasuke's lifeless body where the dome was. And then the bridge builder, Grumpy Old Man, does something really nice, because Sakura's duty is still to protect him. Those were her instructions. She cannot leave his side. So he says, let's run together. Let's go together. You're not disobeying your orders. And they hold hands and run to Sasuke. Tazuna tells Sakura it's okay to let your emotions out. And how she does this in her heartbreak is talk about how smart she was at school. Yes, she was very smart. She knows all the ninja rules. She memorized them. She had fun getting it right on every single test. And what's one of those rules? Number 25. A shinobi must never show their true emotions. And as she's reciting this, she's crying. She cannot restrain her true emotions. And Tazuna thinks to himself, It's like, if that's the shinobi way, how terrible, how impossible of a task that is. At some point, we return to Inari from the beginning of the episode, where he waddles back home to his mom, who's safe, and he doesn't have anybody in tow, but he says, well, if nobody's gonna join me, I'm still gonna go fight. So he dons some armor, he picks up a crossbow. His mom says, absolutely the fuck not, but he's gonna do it anyway. And then they look outside and see the whole village gathered there to help. We end the episode back with Kakashi and Zabuza. Kakashi doesn't have any sass left. He's just enraged. There's actually a very funny sequence where he just punches him. He just punches him so hard, and he roundhouse kicks him in the face. He manages to incapacitate both of Zabuza's arms. The sword goes flying. He cannot move his arms. And that's when Gato shows up with an army of criminal thugs. On to episode 19. Gato has decided he's going to kill Zabuza because he's too expensive, and he didn't even get the job done. So Zabuza says to Kakashi, he says, we're good, man. My mission's canceled. We're okay. We now have bigger fish to fry. And Kakashi's, who was so mad, is just like, yeah, I guess so. Now Gato, as we know, total asshole. And he kicks Haku's body, which makes Naruto furious, obviously. And he's doubly furious because Zabuza doesn't even seem to care, which Zabuza says, I don't care. So he's really mad. Kakashi tries to tell Naruto to calm down because Zabuza is not the enemy right now. Army of thugs, criminal overlord. But Naruto says, fuck that. This guy is always gonna be my enemy. He says, I hate him. Haku did everything for him. Everything. And he doesn't even care. He tossed him aside like he was nothing. Now this speech goes so hard that he makes Zabuza cry. Zabuza, he was lying. He does care, even though he completely just used this boy. There was a small kernel of devotion that he returned towards Haku. And he feels devastated by this loss. And he feels grateful that he knows he's going to die today. The same time, same day, same place as Haku's death. He tears off his face bandages with his teeth because his arms don't work. And he says, even the demon of the mist, is still just a human. He's still struck by those pesky human feelings. And no matter how hard he tries, he cannot escape that humanity. So he asks Naruto for his kunai knife. Naruto says, well, okay, since you have feelings, I'll help you out. He tosses it to Zabuza, whose arms don't work. But it's okay because Zabuza catches the handle of the knife in his mouth. Zabuza runs at the thug's arms, flailing behind him, and he just cuts through the crowd to get to Gato. And he kills Gato, but before he does, he gives one of my favorite speeches, which I will now read for you verbatim. Gato says, "You crazy fool, if you're so eager to join your friend, go ahead. But you're not taking me, not this time." And Zabuza says, "I won't be joining Haku. Where he's gone, I cannot follow." Then he gets right up in Gato's face, snarling, and says, "We wouldn't be welcome where Haku's gone to. Hell's where we're going, Gato. I can't think of a more fitting destination for a demon ninja, can you? I'm told there are many demons down there, of all shapes and sizes. Oh, yes, I should fit right in. You, on the other hand, Gato, well, I fear you're in for a very long and painful eternity." Then he stabs him, slashes him, pushes him into the ocean. But he didn't get all the thugs, and they all stab him in the back, literally with spears and swords. So they're both goners. I mean, Gato's gone. I need to put my X's up. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so exciting. I have them right here. So Haku's dead, Gato's dead, Zabuza's not dead yet, so we won't put an X on. Here we go. One for Haku first. Rest in peace. And one for Gato. You are an ass. You will not be missed. Okay, anyway. Now they're properly dead. Now they're really dead. Last breaths taken. Zabuza, just with a glance, scares all of the thugs out of his way. They part like the Red Sea, and he starts making his way to Haku's body. But he doesn't make it. He collapses halfway through the crowd. As he goes, he has a vision of Haku, and he finally apologizes and thanks him for everything he did for Zabuza. Naruto looks away from the scene, but Kakashi tells him to keep looking because it is a fitting end for a man like Zabuza. But I'm not going to put the X on yet because then Sasuke wakes up. Sakura's just sobbing over his body. He wakes up and he's like, get off. Your girly tears, you're heavy, stop it, I'm fine. He's alive, thank goodness. For those of you familiar with the series, which has got almost all of you, right? Can you imagine if he just died in the very first arc, in episode 19 of a 720 episode show? How different would it be? Oh my god. Like, what if Sasuke's death was Naruto's tragic backstory instead of what happens later? Anyway, Gato's gone, Haku's gone, it seems like Zabuza's gone, but the thugs are still there, and they say, well, if we're not going to get paid for this job, then we're going to just kill everyone in the village and take their money. It was nice of them to announce that to the heroes, though, right? Like, they're exhausted, they're not going to stop them. But as they turn around to charge the village, an arrow lands in front of them. Who shot the arrow? A crossbow-wielding 8-year-old, of course, surrounded, supported by all the members of the village. And the thugs are outnumbered, and they run off screaming. Undoubtedly a victory, but we can't celebrate yet. Kakashi goes over to where Zabuza lays, back full of swords, and he grants him his final dying wish. He removes all the swords, picks him up. He looks so frail and so human after being such a larger-than-life figure in their story. And Kakashi carries him over to Haku, laying him down beside him. Snow begins to fall as Zabuza gazes at his companion's face for the very last time. Together in life, together in death. And he hopes, as he sees the light, as he reaches his end, he hopes that he can join Haku in the afterlife. So now we're going to put another X on the wall. Yeah, he's gone. When I first watched this, I did not like Zabuza. I thought his pants were funny, but that was such an incredible sequence of events. His monologue to Gato, his death, his regret. Like, he really turned it around. That was the moment. Like, I was enjoying the show a lot. I liked its humor, but that was the moment where I was like, oh, I will watch all of this, and I will make a YouTube video series about all of this, because that was amazing. He will be missed. I miss him every day. Later, Squad 7 stands in front of 2 graves where they, presumably on their own, have buried Haku and Zabuza, and you can tell that it's them because his giant fucking sword is right in front of the cross headstone situation. Sakura asks if that really is the ninja way, to use and be used by people like tools. Kakashi answers, shinobi are all merely tools in the hands of destiny. Kakashi tells them all the question of purpose is one that cannot be answered, and they have to accept that if they're going to keep moving forward. But our boy Naruto is not down with that. He decides right then that he is going to pursue his own ninja way, the way of Naruto. With all the threats removed and the bridge finally fucking finished, Team 7 has to say their goodbyes. Naruto and Inari are both sobbing, but they're both pretending they're not. In her head, Sakura calls them pathetic, and they leave. And as they leave, Tazuna's just sort of standing there on his beautiful bridge he finally built, and he says, you know, the bridge needs a name. I think we should call it the Great Naruto Bridge. He's got a bridge named after him, and I don't even think he knows about it. I don't think he knows about it. He didn't hear this. They don't go back, at least not as far as I'm caught up in the show. This whole time, there's a bridge named after him. Like, he would love to know that information when all he cares about is getting respect. But the Great Naruto Bridge, beautiful, beautiful bridge. And that is the end of the first arc of Naruto. But before I let you go, let's just recap some of the dynamics that we've learned about, that will continue, and some questions that will be answered as we move forward. So we've got Team 7 at the heart of this narrative. We've got Naruto, who's in love with Sakura, Sakura, who's in love with Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke have kissed, but Naruto hates Sasuke, and Sasuke is indifferent to both of them. And Kakashi is there. He's there. But despite the hatred, Naruto's anger when he thought that Sasuke died was enough to loosen the seal inside of him, placed by the most powerful Hokage in their history. His rage, his upsetness at this loss caused that seal to loosen. So, Sasuke is a member of the Uchiha clan. In fact, he is the only member of the Uchiha clan in the village. However, he has a brother who is still alive out there somewhere, who killed the rest of their family, everybody in the village. And Sasuke has sworn that it is his noble vow to one day kill that brother. As an Uchiha, Sasuke has the red Sharingan eyes, which gives you the power to copy and see jutsu, we know. So that's exciting. That's a new power that he's kind of unlocked and that we'll see continue to grow. And how convenient that his teacher also has the Sharingan, but only in one eye. And the question of the show is, how? We will not be getting answers anytime soon, okay? In my current progress through the show, I still do not know what is going on with this. But anyway, convenient teacher. On top of this, Kakashi also has his lightning blade jutsu, which is his own creation, and he has a small army of cute dogs. Now, Naruto is really optimistic. He's not so great at a lot of things, but he does have one tool in his arsenal, the shadow clones, which go way back to the first episode. I said, something will be funny later. What was it? In the first episode, he says that the clone jutsu is his worst. And now, the shadow clone, the advanced clone jutsu, is in fact the only thing he is capable of doing, on top of sexy jutsu. But in a battle situation, he's a one-trick pony. Now, Sakura is really smart, and she has excellent chakra control. She is not the best fighter yet, but she loves to yell, and she also cries. So I really do relate to her in that regard. The group has just survived their first serious mission thanks to some skill, an excellent teacher, and a whole lot of damn good luck. But still, good job, guys. You did it. They met one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. We will be hearing more about some of those other guys as we continue on through the show, but one of the most powerful warriors from an entire nation. Also, please keep in mind the intensity of the mist training, because that will also come back again. Their graduation exam, don't forget, is to kill one of their classmates in battle. They are vicious. Keep that in mind as we go throughout the show. Because of this whole thing, Naruto has decided that he's going to create and follow his own ninja way. He will not follow that tradition of being a tool. He's got his own dreams, aspirations, things he cares about. And that is another very important thread. Also, though, that sounds like a little bit treasonous, a little bit rogue. They're basically soldiers in an army. They're not really supposed to think for themselves, but it's fine. The Leaf Village is chill. He's the main character, so everything he does is good all of the time. It's okay. He's gonna do it, and it's gonna be amazing. It's also been a hot minute since we've seen him, but do not forget, this is Iruka. Iruka is Naruto's dad. Not really, but basically. They eat ramen together and are very sweet. He almost died for Naruto. Before anyone else, he was the first ever person to treat him like a human being. And we're going to be seeing him soon. Thank God. I have missed him. With all that, don't forget this guy. With all that being said, I think we're done here. That's everything you need to remember for right now until the next video. Before I let you go, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this dorky little thing. If you've made it to the end and you enjoyed, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, whatever, all of that stuff. As you can almost certainly tell, this is my first ever foray into YouTube. I mean, you can see my setup right there. So I'm definitely not expecting some crazy turnout. But if even one person watched this and had a good time, that would make me so happy to hear. So, thank you. We've been filming for a while. I gotta go learn how to edit a YouTube video so I can get it out to you as soon as possible. So, see you soon. Bye.